Chapter 308. Everyone knew that the only things that would interest Bailey Hongzhuang were demonic beast cores, points and herbs. Gold coins were the most useless. Thus, everyone was collecting comparatively special materials, hoping to impress her. Meanwhile, some rumors about Bailey Hongzhuang and Dongfang Yu had also started to spread out. Even though Senior Dongfang treats everyone well, isn't he especially attentive towards Bailey Hongzhuang? I feel that perhaps Senior Dongfang likes Bailey Hongzhuang. Then what can I do? I've already liked Senior Dongfang for a long time. If Senior Dongfang really has someone he likes, then The female students all felt grief in their hearts. They only hoped that this wasn't true. After all, when the person you've liked for so long finds a person to stand by his side, they could no longer have those thoughts in their mind. Bailey Hongzhuang is so beautiful. Isn't it not surprising that Dongfang Yu likes her? Let alone Dongfang Yu, almost every guy would like her. It wasn't the least surprising that the male students would like her. No matter in what aspect, Bailey Hongzhuang was the undisputed prideful daughter of heaven. Though Lu Qinyue had the title of #1 beauty of the Azure Water School, they felt that the newly arrived junior Bailey appeared to be much more relatable to them. Bailey Hongzhuang had no knowledge towards the various remarks from the world outside. She only single-mindedly refined pills inside her house. Master, haven't you already refined 4-channel opening pills? Why are you still refining more? Little Black was bored stiff as it tugged at the fur on Little White's head. Once Master seriously does something, she is as stubborn as a bull. For example, refining pill. Master had been refining pills since she returned. It looks like she won't stop refining pills until she mentally exhausts herself. 3 pills were for the auction. 1 for her own use. 4 pills were already enough. Bang! When the lid lifted off the furnace, another channel opening pill was successfully refined. While Bailey Hongzhuang put the channel opening pill into the white porcelain bottle, she smilingly said, Senior Dongfang as well as Jiqing and the others are all my good friends. Every cultivator needs the channel opening pill. I am also prepare a portion for them. Towards her real friends, she had never been stingy. The grade of the channel opening pill wasn't high, but it had a significant effect on cultivators. All this time, Dongfang Yu and the others have all treated her well and helped her with many things that could not be repaid easily. The channel opening pill was undoubtedly the best choice. Hearing this, Little Black finally understood and then immediately approached Bailey Hongzhuang. Master, what do you think about Senior Dongfang? Bailey Hongzhuang slightly narrowed her phoenix eyes. Her gut told her that Little Black's question was not as simple as it sounded. What do you want to say? Little Black clasped its hands together. Master, even though I feel that Senior Dongfang isn't bad, I still stand firmly on Dibei Chen's side. Dongfang Yu had always been considerate towards Master and it could tell a few things from the vague atmosphere between them. However, it looked at Dibei Chen in a better light. Ha! Slap! Bailey Hongzhuang sent Little Black flying with a single slap. Little furballs don't have to think about such complicated questions. Ah! Little Black hit the wall and miserably rolled back. It sat quietly to the side, not daring to say a word. Little White sighed and looked helplessly at Little Black. I already said. Master likes Senior Dongfang. You just had to ignore me. You deserve to be beaten. Bailey Hongzhuang had just prepared to return to refining pill when she suddenly heard Little White's words. Her heart stilled for a moment before she smoothly sent Little White flying to the other side. Don't you two have too much free time on your hands? Bailey Hongzhuang raised her eyebrow. It seems that I have to find something for your guys to do. Chapter 309. When those words left Bailey Hongzhuang's mouth, Little Black and Little White's expressions changed. Tacitly, both of them put their paws over their mouths and obediently sat on the bed, indicating that they won't speak again. Baisher proudly rubbed up against Bailey Hongzhuang and got a demonic beast crystal from her hand. As Baisher crunched on the crystal, it arrogantly looked at the two who were being punished. That little villain. Little Black said angrily. Don't just look at this Baisher's usual naturally slow-witted face. Baisher looked cute all day long, but in truth it is very smart. Baisher arrogantly stretched, twisted its fat butt and secretly thought, who told you guys to ignore the atmosphere? This time you guys are really unlucky. Little White gnashed its teeth. It always felt that if it doesn't beat someone up once in a while, its claws would itch. Little Black and Little White glanced at each other. It looks like they can't let Baisher, this little baby, continue to be so arrogant. The next day, Bailey Hongzhuang left the house only after she finished refining the channel opening pills. She slowly walked up to the third floor. Bailey Hongzhuang knocked on Dongfang Yu's door but found that no one was there. Her ink-black bright phoenix eyes showed a trace of puzzlement. Could it be that Dongfang Yu was out? Just when Bailey Hongzhuang was contemplating this matter, the door behind her suddenly opened. You're looking for Dongfang. The words were slow and indifferent. Other than Gong Shaoqing, who else could this be? Bailey Hongzhuang turned around, slightly nodded and smiled charmingly. Since you're here, it's the same thing. Gong Shaoqing looked slightly puzzled. He opened the door and indicated to Bailey Hongzhuang to come inside. When Bailey Hongzhuang entered, she discovered that Dongfang Yu and Lu Qinyue were also there. She couldn't help but show a touch of surprise in her eyes. You were looking for me? Dongfang Yu stood up, a smile on his face as he looked at Bailey Hongzhuang. Bailey Hongzhuang's beautiful face softened. So it happens that you're all here. I came to give something to you guys. It was Yin Yang pouch earlier and Cosmos pouch in the glossary. From her Cosmos pouch, Bailey Hongzhuang retrieved 3 white porcelain bottles. She handed one to each person. These channel opening pills should be helpful to you guys. Hearing these words, Dongfang Yu and the others looked at Bailey Hongzhuang in surprise. Channel opening pill. This was currently the most popular pull in the Azure Water School. Its value need not to be said. Bailey Hongzhuang actually gifted it to them. One shouldn't accept a reward without merit. We can't take these pills. Gong Shaoqing said deeply. Channel opening pill. It held extreme attraction to all cultivators. They didn't know how the channel opening pills fell into Bailey Hongzhuang's hands, but they couldn't accept it for no reason. Originally, they also had some thoughts of taking part in the auction 3 days later. The highest bidder wins. This was also very normal. Only, who would expect that Bailey Hongzhuang would directly gift it to them? This was the pill that many cultivators longed for. Since I came to the Azure Water School, you guys have always taken good care of me. That's something that I can't repay. So don't refuse this. Bailey Hongzhuang smiled enchantingly, placing the white porcelain bottles in their hands. To me, the channel opening pill is only a grade 2 pill. You guys don't have to worry about it so much. To other cultivators, the channel opening pill was a pill that had already been long lost to time. It was a priceless treasure wasn't available on any market. However, to someone who possessed the pill formula like her, it was only an ordinary grade 2 pill. Lu Qinyue looked at the channel opening pill in her hand. She could hardly hide the shock in her heart. When the news of the channel opening pill spread out, she had questioned her master for information. She also read through ancient texts to look up the characteristics of the channel opening pill. There was no difference between the books and the pill in her hands. Only, the channel opening pill had long been lost for so many years. How could it have appeared in Bailey Hongzhuang's possession? Chapter 310. Whether it was the lost vibrating needle technique or the lost channel opening pill, they were both extraordinary. Who on earth was Bailey Hongzhuang? Others may not know of the channel opening pill's significance, but as a pill master herself, she was very clear. To possess the pill formula for the channel opening pill is equivalent to possession an incomparably precious treasure. Each and every pill formula was extremely precious, not to mention that this was the kind of pill formula that everyone needed and was also lost long ago. Gong Shaoqing stared hard at Bailey Hongzhuang. His eyes were like bright stars and filled with a surge of darkness. His heart could hardly stop shaking. Bailey Hongzhuang, how do you have so many channel-opening pills? Amongst the three, Dongfang Yu had the closest relationship with Bailey Hongzhuang. So naturally it was he who asked Bailey Hongzhuang at this moment. Lu Qinyue's gaze also fell on Bailey Hongzhuang. Her clear eyes held uncertainty and hesitation. Hongzhuang, you are a pill master. All along, she had thought that there was no possibility that Bailey Hongzhuang could cultivate martial arts, study medical skills along with learning refining skills at the same time. One person's concentration could not possibly be split 3 ways equally. However, whether it was Bailey Hongzhuang taking out so many returning qi pills at the Luoyun mountain range or taking out the channel opening pills now. If she was an ordinary cultivator, there was no way she'd be able to prepare so many pills. Even if one was abundantly wealthy, then he'd still wouldn't be able to buy so many channel opening pills, right? As a result, there was only one possibility left: Bailey Hongzhuang is a pill master. However, towards this conclusion, Lu Qinyue still felt that it was inconceivable. That's correct. I'm a pill master. She had a pleasant smile on her exquisite face. Bailey Hongzhuang would of course admit it. To her, this wasn't a secret. Hearing these words, Dongfang Yu, Gong Shaoqing and Lu Qinyue all turned their eyes to Bailey Hongzhuang at the same time. They had suspicions in their hearts about this. However, when Bailey Hongzhuang admitted it, inevitably their hearts still shook. Was this still a human? Your concentration is too abnormal. Lu Qinyue's usually gentle face was slightly stiff. Hongzhuang, this channel opening pill. It wasn't refined by you, right? Bailey Hongzhuang nodded slightly. Yes, it was refined by me. Gulp. Dongfang Yu swallowed a mouthful of saliva, looking at Bailey Hongzhuang as if he was looking at a monster. He found it hard to believe that a 15-year-old girl could have such high achievements in so many different areas. It was too heaven-defying. Gong Shaoqing's usually stony face also had a trace of shock on it at this moment. With Bailey Hongzhuang's age, as long as she has true ability, she would be a genius with such achievements in either medical skills or pill refinement. And yet, Bailey Hongzhuang had achievements in all 3 areas that everyone would be envious of. You can imagine the shock they felt in their hearts. Lu Qinyue opened her mouth yet didn't know what she should say. The channel opening pill was a grade 2 pill. This meant that Bailey Hongzhuang was a rank 2 pill master. She had only just passed the rank 2 pill master exam at the Pill Master Association this year and was already considered a genius by many seniors. Compared to her, Bailey Hongzhuang was a year younger and yet had already reached the level of a rank 2 pill master. This 1 year didn't seem like a large gap, however the gap in talent wasn't slight. If she was a genius, then what was Bailey Hongzhuang? She didn't dare to think about it. If Bailey Hongzhuang didn't research medical skills and concentrated solely on pill refinement, then what sort of achievement would she have now? For the first time, a proud daughter of heaven like her felt ashamed. Chapter 311. At that moment, Dongfang Yu no longer felt the burden he had before as he took the channel opening pill. The thing that pill masters did not lack was pills. As long as they had the herbs, they would be able to refine invaluable pills. Such a heaven-defying genius was actually ridiculed by everyone in the Imperial City as a waste. Are those people in the Imperial City blind? Dongfang Yu felt a sense of helplessness in his heart. If General Bailey knew the results Bailey Hongzhuang had today, he really wondered what the general would think. Hongzhuang, have you taken the Pill Master exam at the Pill Masters Guild? Lu Qinyue asked. Not yet. A beautiful smile blossomed on Bailey Hongzhuang's face. She had heard Jiqing talking about the Pill Masters Guild before and had also planned to go to the Pill Masters Guild to take the exam. However, she had not had the time to go recently. Lu Qinyue was even more confused. Her master told her before that there was a possibility that a strong power was backing Beili Hongzhuang. No matter what angle you look at it from, Beili Hongzhuang wasn't an ordinary person. So why hasn't she taken the Pill Masters Guild's exam yet? It provided great convenience to Pill Masters once they've joined the Pill Masters Guild. If you have time, why don't you go and take the exams at the Pill Masters Guild? Lu Qinyue smiled slightly. What benefits are there to passing the exam? Beili Hongzhuang asked with beautiful eyes that clearly differentiate between black and white. After all, she had no interest in the status as a ranked pill master. Listening to Beili Hongzhuang's words, Lu Qinyue had doubts in her heart. Beili Hongzhuang was definitely not ordinary. How could she not know anything about the Pill Masters Guild? The Pill Masters Guild has a really strong system. The guild's pill masters have priority on many rare herbs, so it is of great convenience to us. Then, what do you have to contribute in return? Beili Hongzhuang arched her eyebrow. Since the Pill Masters Guild provided them with convenience in getting herbs, then accordingly they also had to fulfill certain obligations. The Pill Masters Guild doesn't have many rigid requirements. Only that when the guild needs a certain pill, you would help refine it and they would give you sufficient compensation. Her ink-black phoenix eyes held a trace of deep understanding. Beili Hongzhuang immediately understood the meaning of the Pill Masters Guild's existence. Pill formulas are the most precious things each pill master owns. Thus, even though there are many pill masters, not every pill master would be able to refine a certain kind of pill. With the existence of the Pill Masters Guild, there was another channel to seek pills. The guild could directly ask a pill master that knew how to refine that pill, provide sufficient compensation and get the pill. As a result, pills would then have one more channel to circulate from. This was a win-win situation and pill masters aren't too restricted. Even if the guild asks a pill master to help, the pill master could refuse. However, most of the pill masters enjoy the benefits of the guild, they usually wouldn't refuse. I understand. Beili Hongzhuang's lips curved into an elegant smile, a decision made in her heart. Since she is going to auction the channel opening pills at the school, it was best to get the recognition of the Pill Masters Guild. Even though she doesn't care, it would be great to render people unable to denounce it. After a few exchanges between the four, Beili Hongzhuang left the special enrollment student dormitory and the Azure Water School to go to the Pill Masters Guild. Chapter 312. Apart from Beili Hongzhuang, who else will be able to wear a white dress so elegantly, as if she didn't belong on this earth? So as soon as Beili Hongzhuang appeared, everyone recognized her. The crowd's voices were filled with curiosity and excitement. When everyone heard about the channel opening pills appearing on the auction, everybody knew that Beili Hongzhuang still had even more channel opening pills. Nowadays, a channel opening pill fetched a high price. But since Beili Hongzhuang was only planning to auction off 3 channel opening pills to Principal Shui's cultivators, they didn't have any chance. Some of the merchants began to stir, wanting to get close to Beili Hongzhuang. If Beili Hongzhuang had more channel opening pills, it'd be a huge opportunity. Ah! Master, you've really become famous now. A trace of excitement flashed in Little Black's eyes. He seemed to see bags of gold flying towards them. Channel opening pills were very important to cultivators, it was something almost everybody needed. But since the pill had been lost, everybody could only endure without it. Almost every practitioner needs it. Before being lost, everyone can only endure. Now that it reappeared, even though it was only a second-grade pill, it was just wanted as a top-grade pill. Beili Hongzhuang raised her lips into a shallow smile as her eyes surveyed the surroundings. Why not let them see it? At this moment, a pot-bellied middle-aged man walked next to Beili Hongzhuang, his narrow eyes filled with a professional light. Miss Beili, could I possibly negotiate a deal with you? His face had a big smile on it as he looked at Beili Hongzhuang fawningly. Beili Hongzhuang looked at the man. As soon as he approached her, she had already guessed his intentions. I'm only planning to sell 3 of them for now. I don't plan to do anything else with the rest. The two blunt sentences showed Bailey Honghang's attitude. Right now, she was mainly focused on cultivating, and wasn't all that interested in money. To her, the most important thing was to get points to cultivate in the cultivation pagoda. Money was only a way to improve her cultivation. She didn't intend to neglect the root and pursue the tip, neglect fundamentals and concentrate on details. The middle-aged man immediately understood what Bailey Honghang meant and did not pressure her anymore, but instead laughed, "Miss Bailey, if there is ever a need, just contact me." The man told Bailey Honghang that he will have left a shop in Azure Water City after he leaves and that his purpose had been achieved. The group of merchants saw that the middle-aged man left empty-handed, meaning Bailey Honghang did not intend to sell any more pills and thus did not make a move. The Pill Masters Guild and the mercenary trade union weren't too far away. Usually, many mercenaries would be in the mountains collecting herbs to sell to the Pill Masters Guild, especially the rare ones. Is not far away. On weekdays, many mercenaries will be in the mountains to collect herbs for the Association of Pharmacists, especially some precious medicinal herbs. The Pill Masters Guild was the richest organization on Xingxian continent, and every pharmacist is equal to a huge amount of treasures, and the price of selling medicinal herbs to the Pill Masters Guild was always fair. Chapter 313 Bailey Hongzhuang looked at the tall and imposing building in front of her. The solemn and magnificent image of a pill furence was placed on top of glazed tiles that reflected bright rays of light. It exuded boundless nobility and pride. It was akin to the status Pill Masters in Xingxian continent had. The Pill Masters Guild wasn't as lively as the Military Engineer Union. With a kind of aura that was solemn and noble, not many people were inside, but the bystanders were all full of respect as they watched those that walked out from the entrance of the guild. So, the special position Pill Masters had in Xingxian continent could be seen. Standing in the middle of the Pill Masters Guild, Bailey Hongzhuang sized up her surroundings. The interior of the Pill Masters Guild appeared to be a slightly oppressing black space, filled with a solemn atmosphere. You can't help but be infected with this atmosphere the moment you walk in, becoming completely meticulous and serious. The Pill Masters Guild's front desk was straight ahead. It was a huge and long black table facing the door. A gentle lady was standing right in front of it, paying attention to each and every person entering the guild. The guild was quite spacious. It's just that there were so few people inside, so it felt very empty. Inside the guild, a few people wearing black robes walked past. These were the Pill Master robes that represented glory. If you wore this robe, you would receive respect from countless people when you walk into a crowd. Every Pill Master treated this robe as a precious treasure that signified glory. However, most of the Pill Masters wearing these robes were middle-aged. This was because it was very difficult to become a Pill Master. Specifically, the time and concentration you needed to spend isn't little at all. Thus, by the time you've gained a certain degree of achievement, you would already be quite old. Lu Qinyue was well deserved of the title of Genius Pill Master, becoming a rank 2 Pill Master at such a young age. Even in Xingxian continent, there weren't many that could achieve such a thing. Bailey Hongzhuang slowly walked up to the front desk. The lady at the front desk gave a polite smile as she saw Bailey Hongzhuang come over. "Young lady, are you here to sell herbs or to buy pills?" When young cultivators came to the Pill Masters Guild, they were basically here for only one of two reasons. Thus the receptionist directly asked this question. Bailey Hongzhuang slightly curved her lips, a smile of peerless beauty on her face, and said with a gently and harmonious voice, "I'm here to take the Pill Master exam." Hearing this, the receptionist sent a doubtful look at Bailey Hongzhuang, as if not daring to believe Bailey Hongzhuang's words. "Young lady, you're here to take the Pill Master exam?" The receptionist asked unbelievingly. Bailey Hongzhuang nodded and said with certainty, "That's correct." Seeing how Bailey Hongzhuang replied so affirmatively, the receptionist was somewhat shocked. Though she quickly regained her composure and said, "To take the Pill Master exam, you have to go to the second floor. You'll have to pay 1,000 gold coins to get the exam token before you can participate in the exam." 1,000 gold coins. To ordinary commoners, this was a huge figure. However, to pill masters, this was not a daunting figure. The reason why pill masters needed to pay 1,000 gold coins is to prevent some people from causing trouble. After all, a pill master needs to oversee the examinees during the exam. At that moment, a young girl around Bailey Hongzhuang's age walked over. The girl was wearing a goose yellow dress. Her complexion was clean, fair, and smooth. She had a mesmerizing palm-sized oval face, but her eyes were full of arrogance. Her gaze shifted to the side. No matter if it was her gaze or her demeanor, everything exuded a strong arrogance. It was as if ordinary people were simply beneath her notice. I want to take the pill master exam. The girl said these words and directly placed 1,000 gold coins on the front desk, waiting for the receptionist to hand her an exam token. Chapter 314, Miss Wei. The attendant immediately bowed before immediately handing her an identification token. She clearly recognized Wei Meidai. Since there's two girls wanting to take the exam, I'll immediately notify the masters. The attendant smiled. Hearing her words, Wei Meidai raised an eyebrow as she turned to look at Bailey Hongzhuang. Bailey Honghang frowned slightly. Wei Meidai's gaze was filled with disdain and provocation, as if she was some high and mighty person looking at a petty and low commoner. It was like the other person didn't exist, and giving her a glance was already a great favor. She had seen many arrogant people like Bailey Yuyan and Xian Yuanhuan, but this was still the first time she saw somebody like Wei Meidai. She was somebody capable of making others feel disgust and loathing at first glance. Who's your master? Wei Meidai's eyes flickered with contempt. There weren't a lot of young pill masters in Azure Water City, so not many dared to take the exam. She was very familiar with the Pill Masters Guild and this was the first time she saw such a woman. That woman ought to just be some random no-name pill master's disciple, thinking she was so amazing just because she understood a little piece and wanting to take the exam believing it was easy. Bailey Honghang glanced at Wei Meidai indifferently before turning her eyes back to the front, not bothering to reply to her. Unreasonable people will never get the respect of others. Wei Meidai saw how Bailey Hongzhuang only glanced at her and didn't reply. Her beautiful face immediately turned angry. This useless no-name cultivator without any backing actually dared to refuse her face? Hey, I'm talking to you. Wei Meidai raised her voice, looking at Bailey Honghang irritatedly. Do I have to reply just because you're talking to me? Bailey Honghang spoke lightly. Wei Meidai's shout had already caused everyone in the guild to look over. The Pill Masters Guild was always quiet, but Wei Meidai's words completely wrecked the silence. Everyone frowned as they turned to look at her, but immediately understood when they saw who it was. Obviously, since Wei Meidai knew the Pill Masters Guild well, the people in the guild were also familiar with her as well. Wei Meidai ignored the stares as she glared at Bailey Honghang. Do you know who I am? In the entire Pill Masters Guild, she didn't care about anyone but Lu Qinyue. Nobody in their generation dared disrespect her, but this woman actually dared to treat her so. There was no way she was letting her off. Not interested. Bailey Honghang's voice was lazy and uncaring, treating Wei Meidai as no more than an annoying fly, not worthy of her attention. Wei Meidai's face quickly turned red. She should have had the upper hand with Bailey Honghang, but instead got suppressed. Every sentence she spoke was blocked, leaving her feeling choked. You. Wei Meidai's chest rose up and down, filled with anger. Before, if she said something, nobody else would dare to talk back. Today was the first time she encountered such a person. Do you know the consequences of offending me? Wei Meidai narrowed her eyes, her ink-black almond-shaped eyes glittering with malice. This woman dared to let her lose face in front of so many people. Truly hateful. Bailey Honghang raised a brow, a provocative smile on her delicate face. Do you want to get beaten up? Chapter 315. Wei Meidai was stunned. Obviously it was her threatening Bailey Honghang, so how'd it turn into Bailey Hongzhuang threatening her? When the bystanders saw this, their faces looked as if they were excited to watch a good show. They always see Wei Meidai bullying others, but for the first time, somebody was actually bullying her. I see that you need a beating. Bailey Hongzhuang's words completely exploded Wei Meidai's anger. You could only see Wei Meidai's face turn a bright red as her eyes filled with fury, a slap ruthlessly flying towards Bailey Honghang. Seeing this, Bailey Honghang's eyes turned cold. Her right hand moved like lightning as she grabbed the incoming hand, slapping Wei Meidai with her other one. Pa! There was a clear sound, especially distinct in the Pill Masters Guild's quiet silence. Time seemed to freeze for a split second as the surrounding people widened their eyes. They didn't dare to believe that the one to get slapped was actually Wei Meidai. Who is this young lady? Daring to slap Wei Meidai. I have never seen her before. Not only is her appearance outstanding, her bearing is also out of the ordinary. She's probably not a simple person. Didn't you guys hear about that girl who had the channel opening pills, Bailey Honghang? A white dress and a refined, elegant beauty. This person looks a lot like her. Once Bailey Honghang's name was mentioned, everybody suddenly understood. The people in the Pill Masters Guild weren't interested in cultivators, they only cared about concocting pills. Thus, they knew nothing about Azure Water School's new talents. But since Bailey Honghang had the channel opening pill, she was well known in the Pill Masters Guild. But none of them thought that Bailey Hongzhuang would be so young. Your words are right, this miss probably is Bailey Honghang. Now knowing Bailey Honghang's identity, the crowd's eyes turned even more excited to watch the show. It seemed that it'll be a very interesting scene. Wei Meidai was still in a daze, her right hand bursting with pain. Underneath the burning pain, there was great humiliation. She had lived arrogantly for many years and it was always her beating others. She had never, ever been slapped. But, this woman actually dared to beat her? Wei Meidai's eyes immediately turned insane. The curious gazes staring at her only served to further enrage her. I'll kill you. Wei Meidai was extremely furious. Her figure flickered as she charged at Bailey Honghang. Wei Meidai's hand was stretched forward. Bailey Honghang knew right away that her cultivation was extremely weak since she had always focused on creating pills and wasn't a threat at all. She was simply incapable of bringing her harm. Bang! Bailey Hongzhuang directly grabbed Wei Meidai's hand with both hands and pushed her against the table below her. An enchanting smile broke out on her beautiful face, but the light in her eyes was as sharp as a knife. Everything was as fast as lightning, her voice chillingly cold. Mark my words and don't disturb me anymore. Otherwise, I'll teach you what regret truly means. Wei Meidai was stunned, terror on her delicate face as stared at Bailey Honghang. Her whole body felt ice cold. Seeing the fear and nervousness in Wei Meidai's eyes, Bailey Honghang released her hand, her face indifferent as she stepped away. She usually avoided looking for trouble but at the same time, she was also never afraid of it. Chapter 316 Wei Meidai rubbed her hand in pain. The strength Bailey Honghang had put in earlier really wasn't light. Her wrist had already turned a deep purple color. Her dark eyes twinkled with resentment. Wei Meidai truly hated Bailey Honghang. She had never lost so much face. But Bailey Honghang's strength made her fearful. She didn't dare to be rash, otherwise, she was afraid that Bailey Honghang really would hurt her. I'll let you off for now, but this debt, I'll definitely pay back 100-fold. Wei Meidai swore in her heart. The attendant walked over towards them very quickly. She could keenly sense something had happened after she left. Wei Meidai was no longer as haughty as before. I've already informed the examination masters, you two can go to the second floor. The attendant said smilingly. Bailey Honghang turned to go to the second floor. Everybody watched as Bailey Honghang and Wei Meidai walked away, immediately understanding why Bailey Hongzhuang had come to the Pill Masters Guild. Interest suddenly appeared in their eyes. In all of Azure Water City, only 3 youths had come to take the Pill Masters examination: Lu Qinyue, Wei Meidai, and now finally, Bailey Hongzhuang. Bailey Honghang had just gotten on the 2nd floor when she saw 3 bold words not so far away: examination hall. Wei Meidai walked in front of Bailey Honghang. Her familiar actions seemed to be her telling Bailey Honghang that her identity in the Pill Masters Guild wasn't ordinary. What a pity, as Bailey Hongzhuang wasn't the slightest bit interested. When Bailey Honghang and Wei Meidai entered the examination hall, a middle-aged man was already standing there waiting for them. The man was wearing black Pill Master robes. 2 brightly glinting stars were pinned on it, representing his status as a rank 2 Pill Master. Teacher Tong. Wei Meidai smiled as she called his name. Tong Qingyuan nodded slightly. Wei girl, today marks your 3rd time participating in the Pill Master examination. I'll definitely succeed this time. Wei Meidai's eyes shone brightly, a firm light in her eyes. This time, she had really trained hard. She was sure that she'd be able to pass. Seeing Wei Meidai's confidence, Tong Qingyuan smiled affectionately. Your master didn't come today. Master said he'd come a bit later. Tong Qingyuan's gaze landed on Bailey Hongzhuang. Has this girl also come to take the 1st grade Pill Masters examination? Nope. Bailey Hongzhuang shook her head. Wei Meidai looked at Bailey Hongzhuang, startled. She had clearly heard the waiter say Bailey Honghang was also taking the Pill Masters examination. Wei Meidai was speechless. Could she have made a mistake? In that case, why did she come here to the examination hall? Tong Qingyuan was also confused. He really didn't know what this girl came here for then. But Bailey Honghang's next words made Tong Qingyuan and Wei Meidai turn stunned. I came here to take the 2nd grade Pill Master examination. Wei Meidai's gentle face couldn't help but turn astonished. Bailey Hongzhuang looked to only be 15 or 16, but she said that she actually wanted to take the rank 2 Pill Master exam. Wei Meidai was stunned for another moment before bursting out into loud laughter. What a joke. You actually think you can take the 2nd grade Pill Master examination? Chapter 317. Wei Meidai's face was filled with disbelief. Since she had found her talent in refining pills, she instantly became infatuated with the profession. In her eyes, other than Lu Qinyue's abnormal heaven-defying talent, there was nobody above her. Little girl, did you already pass the 1st grade Pill Master exam? Tong Qingyuan couldn't help but question Bailey Honghang. Such geniuses were always rare, but it wasn't as if there was none. At the very least, their Pill Masters Guild already has one such living example. Lu Qinyue was Azure Water City's rarely seen genius Pill Master. Bailey Honghang shook her head slightly. I haven't. Wei Meidai immediately started to coldly mock her. Hey, even if you want to talk big, it should at least be within limits. A 2nd grade Pill Master, are you dreaming? Because Tong Qingyuan was still present, Wei Meidai regained her courage. She was sure that Bailey Hongzhuang wouldn't dare to face Tong Qingyuan up front. Bailey Hongzhuang glanced at Wei Meidai coldly. Just because you don't have the skill doesn't mean that I don't. In the arrogant sentence, Bailey Hongzhuang's tone was flat and natural. The words were obviously provoking, but coming from Bailey Honghang, it only sounded indifferent and ordinary. Tong Qingyuan's eyes changed slightly. Bailey Honghang's way of speaking was worth thinking over. This tone wasn't one used when 2 equal forces were sneering at each other. Bailey Honghang's manner of speaking signified that she simply didn't care about Wei Meidai at all. It was contempt from the bottom of her heart. Wei Meidai was always arrogant. He never thought that he would one day meet a girl even more haughty than her. Are you saying my disciple doesn't have any ability? An angry voice immediately called out after Bailey Honghang's words from behind her. Wei Meidai's eyes brightened. She instantly regained her guts, that trace of worry disappearing as she glared at Bailey Hongzhuang, filled with pride and resentment. Master! Wei Meidai loudly called out, looking at Bailey Hongzhuang provokingly. Since her master appeared, why couldn't she act arrogant around this woman? Gu Sangyun's mood was originally very good. His treasured disciple was taking the first-grade pill master exam. This time he had watched Wei Meidai train very hard and believed that as long as she showed a good performance, Wei Meidai would definitely pass the pill master exam. But he didn't expect that the first thing he heard when he entered the examination hall was a young lady saying his own disciple had no skill. If his very own disciple didn't have any skill, who in this world did? Gu Sangyun's heart was filled with displeasure. Nowadays, young people truly were newborn calves unafraid of the tiger. What identity did she have, daring to say those words? Bailey Honghang turned around to see Wei Meidai's master. It was an old man about 60, with a full, grizzled, grey beard. His face was laced with wrinkles and was red from anger. Arrogance was etched in between his brows, his whole body emitting a distinguishable aura. The old man's arrogance was very different from Xianyuan Huan's inborn arrogance. Rather, his was an arrogance acquired through practice and customs. As long as one was a pill master, their bodies would always emit such a bit of arrogance and disdain. Because pill masters were such an up and high profession, they were always used to cultivators chasing after them. With only a glance, Bailey Hongzhuang instantly knew that Wei Meidai's arrogance was caused by this man before her. Chapter 318, Master Gu, you came. When Tong Qingyuan saw Gu Sangyun come, a polite and respectful smile immediately appeared on his face. Although he and Gu Sangyun were both pill masters, Gu Sangyun was a third-grade pill mazer while he was only a second-grade one. Besides, Gu Sangyun was older than him and was his senior. Gu Sangyun nodded his head slightly before locking his eyes on Bailey Hongzhuang. What is your name? Daring to talk to my disciple so rudely. His sullen voice was angry and questioning. Gu Sangyun had always protected his name, and how could he let her go when she had even insulted his most prided upon disciple like that? No matter if it was Feng Bo country or Clear Flame country, very few around Wei Meidai's age could take the pill master's examination like her. Only Huan Chuyo's disciple Lu Qinhua truly had enough talent to beat Wei Meidai. Other people can't even come close. Although this girl's appearance was impressive, daring to look down on his disciple, she had to pay the price. Wei Meidai stood behind Gu Sangyun, a prideful smile on her beautiful face. She looked at her master. Let's see if this woman still dared to be as arrogant as before. Bailey Hongzhuang frowned slightly, a trace of coldness fluttering past her inky black eyes. The thing she disliked most was such a high and lofty, arrogant, bossy appearance, as if he and other people were on completely different levels. Since the other person was so rude, she naturally didn't need to be polite either. Respect was something both parties needed. A trifling third-grade pill master didn't have the qualifications to make her reply. Bailey Honghang glanced at Gu Sangyun and Wei Meidai, not replying. Seeing Bailey Hongzhuang continue her arrogant act, Wei Meidai was stunned. Did this woman not know her master's identity? Anyone in Azure Water City would treat her master with due respect as soon as they saw him. So how could this woman from who knows where have the impertinence to ignore her master? Hey, my master is asking you something. You dare to ignore him? Wei Meidai raised her voice at Bailey Hongzhuang, her appearance as if Bailey Hongzhuang had done something unbearably ungraceful. Bailey Hongzhuang's face was cold, her inky black eyes estranged and indifferent. You questioning me doesn't mean I have to reply. Her cold, clear voice was sweet and pleasant, but her words made the scene freeze. Tong Qingyuan stared at Bailey Hongzhuang, astonished. Although he thought that this was mostly due to Wei Meidai's arrogance, Bailey Hongzhuang's rudeness to Gu Sangyun was truly out of his expectations. The crowd watching was also shocked. Wasn't this Bailey Honghang really too audacious? Usually, nobody would dare to speak against Gu Sangyun and Wei Meidai in the Pill Masters Guild. Even in all of Azure Water City, there wasn't anyone who dared to slight them. But now, Bailey Hongzhuang actually dared to face Gu Sangyun so rudely. It had to be said, her courage alone was admirable. Master Gu is famous for his narrow-mindedness. Bailey Honghang really dares to offend him. Wei Meidai's usual actions are always spoiled by Master Gu. Bailey Honghang's actions actually make me a bit happy. But offending Master Gu, Bailey Honghang definitely won't have a good time in Azure Water City. Everyone sighed, looking at Bailey Honghang regretfully. Chapter 319. A trace of anger appeared in Gu Sangyun's turbid eyes. He had stayed in Azure Water City for many years. Whoever saw him would always call him Master. For him to speak to a youth was their honor, yet this girl actually dared to be so disrespectful. Don't you know that it's unwise to offend a pill master? His cold, gloomy voice held a warning. Bailey Honghang's actions had clearly already angered him. Tong Qingyuan's heart sunk. Master Gu wasn't as tolerant as Master Huan, even a trivial action would make him hold a long-time grudge. Bailey Honghang had completely offended Gu Sangyun today. Although he didn't know Bailey Honghang, he also didn't want her to get such a big enemy just because of this. Thinking of this, Tong Qingyuan glanced at Bailey Honghang meaningfully, indicating she should say a few pacifying words. After all, Gu Sangyun was the elder here. It wouldn't be good for him to deal with Bailey Honghang. Bailey Honghang saw Tong Qingyuan's indication and couldn't help but get a favorable impression of him in her heart. She and Tong Qingyuan were total strangers, but he still tried to warn her. From this, it could be seen that he wasn't a bad person. But, wanting her to speak pacifying words to Gu Sangyun? Impossible. Don't you know that it's also an unwise idea to offend a new, talented pill master? Bailey Honghang's lips curved into an enchanting smile, her cold voice filled with menace. She had no need to pay attention to a third-grade pill master. Right now, she was already a second-grade pill master. As long as she works hard and breaks through in her cultivation, refining third-grade pills wouldn't be a problem at all. So, Gu Sangyun's words weren't the least bit threatening to her. As Bailey Honghang dropped those words, Gu Sangyun and Wei Meidai's faces suddenly changed. They were sure Bailey Honghang would be begging for forgiveness, but instead, Bailey Hongzhuang actually turned around and threatened Gu Sangyun. Ha! Gu Sangyun's anger had already reached an exploding point, but to keep his image, he could only sneer coldly, "Since you're so courageous, announce your name. I want to see what confidence lets you be so rude and unreasonable." Rude and unreasonable. Little Black's face was mocking. "I think this guy's the one who's shameless. Right? When people become cheap, they become shameless. Since no one wants to deal with shameless people, they become invincible. This Gu Sangyun and Wei Meidai are birds of a feather." Little White's face was full of disdain. "Master, they definitely are planning to get even with you." Little Black and Little White showed displeased looks on their faces, yet Bailey Hongzhuang still looked indifferent. With this kind of substandard guy, she didn't feel he was worth getting angry over. "I am Bailey Hongzhuang." Bailey Hongzhuang was not perturbed, hiding neither given nor surname. She was not at all afraid of Gu Sangyun's retaliation. Hearing Bailey Hongzhuang's name, the expression on Tong Qingyuan's face changed. A few days earlier, Bailey Hongzhuang's name spread throughout the Azure Water City. This was all because the long-lost channel opening pill had showed up in her possession. What the Pill Master Guild paid most attention to was obviously pills, not to mention that it was a long-thought-to-be-lost pill. After hearing this piece of news, they also thought of getting in touch with Bailey Hongzhuang. It was just that the Azure Water School had its own set of rules. No matter which organization you were from, you couldn't go into the school to find a student. Unexpectedly, Bailey Hongzhuang actually came to the Pill Master Guild. These past days, Gu Sangyun had been studying pills behind closed doors and thus did not know of the matter of the channel opening pill. And so he also did not know of Bailey Hongzhuang's name. Bailey Hongzhuang, I will remember this name. Chapter 320. Gu Sangyun's voice was icy as he stared at her angrily. There were too many people watching for him to do anything, he can't explode here. But, he had plenty of ways to deal with Bailey Honghang. Suddenly, a familiar and surprised voice rang in everyone's ear. Bailey Honghang. Bailey Honghang turned to see Azure Water School's vice principal Huan Chuyu slowly walking over, a trace of a smile on his kind and tolerant face. Huan Chuyu's impression of Bailey Honghang was very deep. The young girl had actually mastered the long-gone vibrating needle technique, a truly stunning feat, vice principal. Bailey Honghang greeted him respectfully. Seeing Bailey Honghang call Huan Chuyu vice principal, Gu Sangyun could immediately tell Bailey Honghang's identity. Old Huan, she's one of your students. Huan Chuyu nodded his head smilingly. Right, Bailey Honghang is one of Azure Water School's new students this year. No wonder, truly a newborn calf. Gu Sangyun sneered, his voice filled with resentment. Old Gu, your words are completely wrong. Huan Chuyu waved his hand. Bailey Honghang isn't a youth that doesn't understand anything. Seeing Huan Chuyu speak like that, Gu Sangyun thought he was only trying to protect Azure Water School's students. Such a young girl daring to talk big, isn't that exactly a newborn calf not fearing the tiger? She doesn't know just how big the world truly is. Huan Chuyu inspected Gu Sangyun and Bailey Honghang. From Gu Sangyun's thorny attitude, it was clear that the two were in a conflict. Old Gu probably doesn't know, but in the field of healing, Bailey Honghang is entirely deserving of being called a great master. Huan Chuyu's face was serious, his voice sincere without the slightest trace of a lie. Everybody was surprised as they listened to Huan Chuyu praise Bailey Honghang. In Azure Water City, Huan Chuyu was a truly great master that everybody respected. It was truly a great honor for Bailey Honghang to be praised so highly by Huan Chuyu. Old Huan, what do you mean? Gu Sangyun's face was still unhappy, a trace of doubt in his eyes. He and Huan Chuyu knew each other for many years, and he understood the other's temperament very well. Since Huan Chuyu said that, it shouldn't be a baseless claim. Wei Meidai looked at Bailey Honghang in annoyance. She really didn't know what background Bailey Hongzhuang had, to get such praises from Master Huan. Truly hateful. Bailey Honghang is a doctor who was able to remove the Lulin python's poison. Huan Chuyu smiled indifferently, a trace of mystery on his calm face. Everybody's faces changed when they heard Huan Chuyu's words. Lulin pythons were a huge taboo amongst cultivators. Nobody wanted to ever encounter a Lulin python, because if they were to be poisoned by it, there was very little chance they could survive. But did Master Huan say just now that Bailey Hongzhuang actually removed the Lulin python's poison? What idea was that? Gu Sangyun naturally knew about the difficulty of dispelling the Lulin python's poison. Even he was helpless in front of it. Bailey Hongzhuang, this little girl, could really cure the poison. Old Huan, you're exaggerating, right? Gu Sangyun asked skeptically, his words probing. If other people said it, then he definitely wouldn't believe them. But since Huan Chuyu said it, he had to believe it. Chapter 321. Cui Haoyan, one of our special enrollment students, was bitten by the Lulin python. If Bailey Honghang didn't help save him, Cui Haoyan would have died. Huan Chuyu still smiled. Although he didn't know what great master was behind Bailey Honghang, he was very optimistic about her future. Both her character and personal conduct were worthy of admiration, so right now he had no apprehensions about praising her. Many people knew about Cui Haoyan's accomplishments in the special enrollment class. Everyone was surprised when they heard Cui Haoyan's name being mentioned. Since he had even brought up Cui Haoyan, it must be true. I didn't expect it was actually Bailey Honghang who had cured Cui Haoyan's injury. Right, it's no wonder that Zhang Yunfeng thanked Bailey Honghang. It's truly unexpected for Bailey Honghang to have such great medicinal skills at her young age. Tong Qingyuan sighed with admiration as he said smilingly, before I had thought Cui Haoyan could only go to the godly doctor in Fengbo country's imperial city. I didn't expect for Miss Bailey to have actually cured him first. Ha! Huan Chuyu laughed brightly. The godly doctor in Feng Bo country's imperial city is Bailey Hongzhuang. Hearing this, everybody stared at Bailey Honghang, dumbstruck. Although Godly Doctor Square was far away in the imperial city, rumors of it had spread far. Everyone knew that the Godly Doctor in Godly Doctor Square could cure the most difficult cases under heaven and that her age was very young. Nobody thought that it'd be Bailey Hongzhuang. Wasn't her age just a little too young? I misheard, right? Tong Qingyuan's face was stunned. The Godly Doctor is Miss Bailey. Since ancient times, the most famous heroes have always been young. Huan Chuyu smiled lightly. Gu Sangyun also heard about the Godly Doctor's reputation, but he truly couldn't link Godly Doctor Square and Bailey Hongzhuang together. Remembering how he had called Bailey Honghang a newborn calf, he couldn't help but feel somewhat ashamed. Wei Meidai stared blankly. She didn't dare to believe what she heard just now as the truth. Godly Doctor Square's master, that was a real master in the field of medicine. Bailey Hongzhuang. How could it be? Bailey Hongzhuang's beautiful face had a slight smile on it. Even though Huan Chuyu praised her so much, she hadn't shown any pride. Everyone nodded inwardly. This was an example everybody should follow. If everyone acted like Wei Meidai, not knowing the other's identity, who knew when they'd disappear? Even if Bailey Hongzhuang's exceptional in medicinal skill, she shouldn't be as great of a genius with refining pills, right? Gu Sangyun was still very arrogant. Although a godly doctor was truly extraordinary, a pill master was still obviously better. Since Bailey Honghang held such high accomplishments in the field of healing, she shouldn't be that good in pill refining. After all, a person's energy was limited. Hearing this, Huan Chiyou's eyes flashed with a trace of doubt. Bailey Honghang, you came to take the pill master examination? Bailey Hongzhuang nodded, right. After everybody knew about Bailey Hongzhuang's accomplishments in medicine, thinking about how she was taking the pill master examination, their faces all couldn't help but turn a bit strange. Before they knew that Bailey Hongzhuang was a doctor, they had only known that she had the channel opening pill and had believed that she was a pill master. Now that they were aware, they simply couldn't believe Bailey Hongzhuang was taking the pill master's examination. Medicinal skills and pill refining were both very hard skills to understand and master. For Bailey Honghang to reach such an attainment of her skills was already an incredible feat. If Bailey Honghang really could also refine pills along with her medicinal skills, wouldn't her talent be just too heaven-defying? Chapter 322. This wasn't everyone not believing in Bailey Hongzhuang's talent. Wei Meidai has been following Gu Pangyun in pill refining since childhood, but she still isn't even a rank 1 pill master. Even though it was like that, Wei Meidai was still a genius at pill definition. Because amongst the other pill master apprentices their age, apart from Lu Qinyue, nobody even had the qualifications to participate. Bailey Hongzhuang's current achievements with medicine were already enough to make everyone stunned. If she could also have such accomplishments in pill refining, then she wouldn't be human. Old Huan, I didn't know about Bailey Hongzhuang's medicinal skills, but she even said that her pill refining skills were better than Wei Meidai in front of everybody. Isn't this simply talking nonsense? Gu Sangyun's chin raised slightly, his cold face filled with displeasure. Earlier he had lost a lot of face, so no matter what, he needed to snatch some back from Bailey Hongzhuang. He didn't care how good Bailey Honghang's medicinal skills were. If Bailey Honghang's pill refining techniques weren't good, it was her wrong. Master, this guy's really too much. Little Black's face was resentful. This guy was too shameless. Bailey Hongzhuang looked at Gu Sangyun with disgust, a trace of coldness in her jade-like black eyes. From the beginning to now, it was that pair of Gu master and disciple finding trouble with her, but now all the blame was pushed upon her body. She had never seen somebody this shameless, really. You've never even seen my skills, so why are you saying I'm talking big? Her cold, indifferent voice held a trace of provocation. Since Gu Sangyun was being so shameless to her, she didn't need to worry about giving him face. Gu Sangyun had originally wanted to say Bailey Honghang was boasting, so when she later failed the pill master's examination, the awkward one would naturally be her. But he hadn't expected Bailey Honghang to suddenly ask such a thing. Bailey Hongzhuang, my master and Master Huan were talking. How could you interrupt as you please? Wei Meidai was watching at the side and had no chance to speak, so when she saw Bailey Honghang's rudeness towards Gu Sangyun, she immediately jumped at her. Bailey Hongzhuang raised her brow, glancing at Wei Meidai mockingly. You and I are total strangers, so what does my matter have with you? Wei Meidai was startled. Why couldn't Bailey Hongzhuang just act with common sense? Normally speaking, with such a big label crashing at her, Bailey Hongzhuang should have been in a fluster. But why didn't Bailey Honghang seem to care at all? The sentence left her with no way to respond. Gu Sangyun frowned. Old Huan, your students are really too outrageous. Their parents truly didn't teach them well. Just as Gu Sangyun said those words, Bailey Hongzhuang's eyes suddenly darkened, staring at Gu Sangyun icily. Although Bailey Hongzhuang still didn't know who her own, biological parents were, there was no way she would let others slander them. You have guts, what did you say again? Her icy cold voice didn't seem to contain the slightest bit of warmth. Bailey Honghang had long lost her sweet, indifferent appearance, replaced by a bone-chilling iciness. Although she was very much disgusted by Gu Sangyun, since she was his elder, she restrained herself. But Gu Sangyun only grew more and more excessive. She couldn't be blamed for this. Bailey Honghang's words made the atmosphere grow sluggish. Everyone stared at Bailey Honghang in shock. Nobody expected her to say such bold words. Chapter 323. Huan Chuyu frowned. Gu Sangyun's words were truly too excessive. He and Gu Sangyun knew each other for many years, and he understood his narrow-minded temper very well. If you provoked his people, he would find every possible way to get revenge. But the person behind Bailey Hongzhuang definitely wasn't simple, and couldn't possibly have an ordinary background. Bailey Honghang's sentence didn't give Gu Sangyun any face at all. He didn't dare to believe that Bailey Hongzhuang had dared to say such a thing to him right in front of Huan Chuyu. What did you say just now? Gu Sangyun's eyes were filled with anger. He clenched his teeth and asked again. He didn't believe that Bailey Honghang would dare to say that again. I said, if you have the guts, say it one more time. Bailey Hongzhuang's face didn't change, repeating her words coldly. As the family leader in her past life, she had seen many pill masters. Nobody had ever dared to say such a thing to her. Even though this was her second life, no way would she let Gu Sangyun insult her parents. Sensing Bailey Hongzhuang's icy gaze, Gu Sangyun shivered. In her gaze, he had clearly sensed a strong killing intent. As a third-grade pill master, he had naturally seen many experts. But this was still the first time he felt such terrifying killing intent. Gu Sangyun fell in a daze, unable to speak. Huan Chuyu also took note of Bailey Hongzhuang's imposing aura, his eyes immediately lighting up. Bailey Hongzhuang really was out of the ordinary. Such an aura coming out from a young teenage girl was truly rare. Dongfang Yu was secretly speechless, his heart holding a trace of fear towards Bailey Hongzhuang. From Bailey Honghang's actions, she seemed to be even more arrogant than Gu Sangyun. Seeing the mood become awkward, Huan Chuyu had no choice but to help smooth things over. Since Bailey Hongzhuang and Wei Meidai both came to take the pill master's exam, why let them take it now? Gu Sangyun was frozen awkwardly, so seeing Huan Chuyu give him a way out, he immediately seized the opportunity. That's also good. I'll see just how good Bailey Hongzhuang's pill refining skills really are. Gu Sangyun snorted angrily, flinging his sleeve as he entered the examination hall. Wei Meidai glanced at Bailey Hongzhuang furiously before following after Gu Sangyun. Huan Chuyu shook his head before calling Dongfang Yu and Bailey Hongzhuang into the examination hall too. The crowd watched as Gu Sangyun and the others went into the examination halls, their hearts itching. The examination hall wasn't an area they could go to. This Bailey Hongzhuang's really too daring, treating Master Gu like that, and yet Master Gu still had no way out. Master Gu and Wei Meidai are always so arrogant, it's rare for somebody to make them suffer a loss. Bailey Hongzhuang really is amazing. Bailey Hongzhuang is Godly Dr. Square's master. Many people seek her to treat their illnesses, so naturally, she doesn't care about Master Gu. Hearing this, everyone nodded. That was very reasonable. On pill refination, Master Huan was above Master Gu, but in medicine, there was nobody above Bailey Hongzhuang. With regards to talent, Bailey Honghang was fully deserving of being called a master. The only thing blocking her was her age that made others incapable of calling out, master. Bailey Honghang walked into the heavy black curtains, the examination hall appearing in front of her. Inside, circular pill furnaces were laid out, a wooden square table set by each one, evidently used to hold pill ingredients. Chapter 324. A high circular platform was spiraled around the pill furnaces. That was clearly the judge's seat. Sitting on the high platform, the judging pill masters could clearly observe everything that was happening. Bailey Hongzhuang, choose a seat and prepare to start refining pills. Huan Chuyu said. Hearing that, Bailey Hongzhuang walked down the platform and randomly chose a pill furnace to sit at. Next, we'll begin the first grade pill master's examination. I will first explain the rules. Tong Qingyuan spoke slowly. Wei Meidai naturally already knew about the rules, but this was Bailey Hongzhuang's first time, so Tong Qingyuan had specifically said it for her to hear. The examination is to refine a pill randomly selected by the examination judge. You have 3 sets of materials. As long as you successfully refine the pill within the time limit, you'll pass. The time limit is 1 hour. Bailey Hongzhuang inwardly nodded. This examination was very fair. Even for pill masters, refining pills always had a chance for failure. The higher the pill's grade, the higher the chance of failure. The reason why they had 3 sets of materials was so even if they fail, they could try again. The rate of failure was something all pill masters had to face. 2 things reflected a pill master's strength. The first was the highest grade pill they could refine, and the second was their success rate. It was because the failure rate was so high, that all pill masters had countless precious pill ingredients piled up. If there wasn't enough ingredients to practice with, there was no way to become a pill master. How about I draw the examination's pill today? Just as Tong Qingyuan was about to draw the pill topic, Gu Sangyun suddenly interrupted. Tong Qingyuan subconsciously looked at Bailey Honghang. With Gu Sangyun's temper, he definitely wouldn't make it advantageous for Bailey Hongzhuang. Seeing Tong Qingyuan's gaze, Bailey Honghang nodded slightly. With her strength, she didn't care about what pill Gu Sangyun chose at all. Gu Sangyun and Wei Meidai were unexpected variables. She didn't want to make things difficult for Tong Qingyuan. Since Gu Sangyun wanted to do something to her, just let him come. In any case, she was confident that the one with their face beaten would be Gu Sangyun. Seeing Bailey Honghang without any complaints, Tong Qingyuan agreed, okay. Gu Sangyun took out a slip of paper from the trunk of examination pill topics and glanced at it before speaking. Today's pill examination topic is returning chi pills. His voice dropped and Gu Sangyun seamlessly tucked the slip of paper into his sleeve. Obviously, what was really written on the slip of paper was no longer important. Wei Meidai's eyes brightened when she heard the words returning chi pills, her face filled with unconcealable excitement. For the past few days, she had been practicing refining the returning chi pill, and had managed to successfully refine one a few days ago. She hadn't thought that today's examination topic would precisely be returning chi pills. The heavens were truly on her side. Thinking of this, Wei Meidai glanced at Bailey Honghang proudly. This time, she wanted to show Bailey Honghang the difference between them. Bailey Hongzhuang wasn't worried at all. Returning chi pills were the pills she refined the most these days. Before, to go to Luoyun for the practical training, she had deliberately been refining a lot of returning chi pills. Returning chi pills was her highest success rate. Gu Songyun's carefully selected choice had only given her a wedding dress. Chapter 325. Quickly, the Pill Master Guild's attendant brought the materials needed for refining the returning chi pill over and placed them in front of Bailey Hongzhuang and Wei Meidai. Looking at the materials on the table, Bailey Hongzhuang didn't hesitate, and in an instant the fire beneath the pill furnace lit up in a fiery burst. Seeing Bailey Hongzhuang prepared to refine the pill without batting an eyelash, Wei Meidai was a bit surprised. Amongst the grade 1 pills, the returning chi pill had a high degree of difficulty. Moreover, the pill formula each pill master possessed had differences between them. Though the pills commonly seen in the market were refined from pill formulas all pill masters possessed, the returning chi pill's formula was very precious. Not just anyone would be able to have possession of it. Bailey Hongzhuang's look at the moment was an air of relaxed calm. It couldn't be that this was faked, right? The returning chi pill is not an easy pill to refine. There's no sense in putting on an act. Just give up so as to avoid making a fool of yourself later. Wei Meidai sneered at Bailey Hongzhuang, words full of ridicule. Though she allowed Bailey Hongzhuang to play to the gallery, she didn't believe for a second that Bailey Hongzhuang would really be able to refine a pill. Bailey Hongzhuang shot Wei Meidai a faint glance. You don't even have the ability to pass the exam yourself. So don't go running your mouth off here. Hearing Bailey Hongzhuang's merciless reply, Wei Meidai became angry. She really didn't understand why Bailey Hongzhuang was so confident. You're only a doctor and not a pill master, Wei Meidai said coldly, eyes full of envy. Seeing that Wei Meidai was so noisy, Bailey Hongzhuang slightly turned and looked condescendingly at the other. Did you perhaps not know that the Godly Doctor Square also sold pills? Wei Meidai paused. Of course she knew the Godly Doctor Square sold pills. What's more, the price of those pills were 20% higher compared to the market value. Even though the price was so much higher, an endless stream of people still went there to buy pills. Some time ago, Master sent someone to buy a pill from the Godly Doctor Square. After careful study, he actually discovered that the effect of the pills sold by the Godly Doctor Square were much greater than the effect of the ones currently in the market. It was really inconceivable. Thinking of this, a trace of suspicion unwittingly flashed through Wei Meidai's eyes. Perhaps there was a chance to understand the secret of the Godly Doctor Square's pill formula from Bailey Hongzhuang's own mouth. After all, Bailey Hongzhuang is the master of the Godly Doctor Square. I do wonder which great pill master temporarily left them there to be sold. If someone pays a higher price, then those pills would have nothing to do with you. You're not going to tell me that the pills sold at Godly Doctor Square were sold by you, right? TSK. Wei Meidai laughed, chaotically trembling like flowers swaying on a branch with ridicule and mockery written all over her face. So chaotically trembling like flowers swaying on a branch described the action of a beautiful woman when she is laughing, and I don't how it would look like a comma. Bailey Hongzhuang's lips curled up into a bewitching and dazzling smile. Her alluring and perfect face suddenly became peerlessly beautiful and glamorous. The words that came out of her mouth left Wei Meidai boggled and speechless. It's rare that you are smart for once. Those airy words were indifferent yet confident. From beginning to end, Bailey Hongzhuang held the air of a great master, giving Wei Meidai a feeling of someone at the pinnacle. Wei Meidai froze, the ridiculing smile on her face dissipated into thin air following Bailey Hongzhuang's words. Impossible, impossible, definitely impossible. Wei Meidai denied strongly. According to her master, to be able to refine pills with perfect efficacy, Godly Doctor Square's pills were definitely refined by great master with very high pill refining skills. If there was a chance to get acquainted, even her master would have to address the other as great master. Telling her now that Bailey Hongzhuang was the great pill master she admired, how could she accept it? Chapter 326. Ding. Tong Qingyuan hit the gong, indicating that the examination has begun and that the incense stick has already been ignited. Bailey Hongzhuang no longer paid attention to the noisy Wei Meidai beside her, directly starting to refine her pill. She had refined far too many returning chi pills, so refining it again now was just like a walk in the park. She first placed the indigo star plant into the pill furnace, the flames quickly swallowing it up. Under her watch, the indigo star plant quickly withered. Under the flame's purification, all the impurities were dissolved, leaving a fine, pure powder. Bailey Honghang then inserted another herb into the pill furnace, allowing the flame to swallow it again. The flame danced under the control of Bailey Hongzhuang's spirit power, seeming just like a jumping sprite. More and more pill ingredients were added in. Bailey Hongzhuang's actions were like moving clouds and flowing water, as if resembling nature itself. Chinese idioms, it means very natural and unforced, highest quality. The flame that was always troublesome to control was like a docile baby in her hands. Her face was completely calm, with an air like a master's. Huan Chuyo's eyes slowly changed as he watched Bailey Hongzhuang refine the pills, finally changing into a trace of awe. An expert's moves, with not a single flaw. Bailey Honghang's actions were smooth and experienced. Obviously, she had placed a lot of time and effort into pill refining. Even if it was them, their technique might not be better. Watching Bailey Hongzhuang refining the pills was like looking at a piece of art. Such calmness gave people a sense of beauty. By contrast, Wei Meidai on the other side seemed to be having trouble and was tense with fear, scared the flame would escape her control. Refining pills were a result of hard work and numerous revisions. Only after practicing many times would the difficulty fade away. The gap between the two was clear as day. Tong Qingyuan's eyes were filled with shock and admiration, Bailey Hongzhuang's seriously too amazing awe. Her pill refinement techniques are like nature itself, truly at the peak of perfection. There was something Tong Qingyuan thought but didn't say. He thought that Bailey Hongzhuang's techniques were probably even better than his, but he still couldn't bring himself to say it. Huan Chuyu nodded slightly, admiration clear in his eyes. Bailey Hongzhuang really is a talent. He had seen many talents in Xingxua continent, but never had he seen one as heaven-defying as Bailey Hongzhuang. Other people, even if given 10 more years, still might not be able to get similar achievements to the ones achieved by this 10-something-year-old girl. How could others not be shocked? Gu Zhangyan's proud face slowly disappeared. He swallowed, not daring to believe that this was real. Now there was almost no doubt that Bailey Hongzhuang really was a pill master. If Bailey Hongzhuang passed the first-grade pill master exam, he'd lose far too much face. But right now Tong Qingyuan and Huan Chuyu were focusing intently on Bailey Hongzhuang, not paying any attention to his thoughts. After all the ingredients were purified, Bailey Hongzhuang covered the pill furnace's lid and enveloped the pill furnace in her spirit force. Turning the purified ingredients into a pill was the most difficult part. Huan Chuyu looked at Bailey Hongzhuang's calm and tranquil appearance, and he was no longer worried. The pill refinement would definitely be a success. Wei Meidai noticed her master staring at Bailey Hongzhuang as if he had seen a ghost. Her heart couldn't help but grow a bit curious as she turned back to look at her. When she saw, Wei Meidai was stunned. She had only purified the third ingredient, yet Bailey Honghang finished all the purifying and started refining. Chapter 327 SS. While Wei Meidai was shocked, there was a hiss, followed by a burning smell. It turns out, during the time Wei Meidai was distracted, the pill ingredients had actually already been burned to ashes. Wei Meidai's face instantly turned ugly. She didn't expect that just one moment of distraction would lead to her failing with the first set of ingredients. She glared at Bailey Hongzhuang angrily, only to find that Bailey Hongzhuang hadn't given her a single glance. Wei Meidai raised her head. Noticing Gu Zhangyan's reprimanding gaze, she didn't dare to delay and immediately picked up the second set of herbs to start refining again. Time slowly passed by. Bailey Hongzhuang's face never changed, filled with confidence. Finally, a sweet scent floated in the air as her beautiful face broke out into a smile. The pill refinement going to be a success? Huan Chuyu and Tong Qingyuan's faces also broke out into a smile. Bailey Hongzhuang was going to pass the first-grade pill master's examination for sure. Wei Meidai smelled the sweet and fragrant scent, her face becoming even more unsightly. She succeeded. Bailey Hongzhuang actually succeeded. Before she had said it was impossible for Bailey Honghang to succeed, but now she was still purifying the pill while Bailey Hongzhuang already succeeded in refining the pill. Wei Meidai's heart was in chaos. Her last trace of hope was completely obliterated. She recalled what had happened in the guild's lobby earlier. If that matter was spread out, she'd lose all her face. SS. A familiar sound echoed. Just as Wei Meidai was about to succeed in the purification, the ingredients were once more burnt to ashes. Wei Meidai's face turned ashen. From the start, she wasn't proficient in controlling the flame and adding on her chaotic heart, there was no way for her to control it well enough. Ding! Bailey Hongzhuang reached out. The pill furnace opened, a perfectly round, full pill standing in the middle. She easily picked it up and emptied it into the porcelain bottle on the table. Her movements were simple and natural. Bailey Honghang placed the porcelain bottle on the table before looking at Tong Qingyuan and Huan Chuyu standing on the high platform. I'm finished refining. Huan Chuyu and Tong Qingyuan walked to Bailey Hongzhuang's table and picked up the porcelain bottle to look inside it. One perfectly round, plump returning chi pill was placed inside it, a strong medicinal odor filling their nostrils. Huan Chuyu nodded, not hiding his satisfaction as he announced, this returning chi pill has been refined very well, so much that it can be described as perfect. Tong Qingyuan's face was also covered with approval, indeed. In that case, does that mean I'm a first-grade pill master now? Bailey Hongzhuang smiled slightly and asked. Of course. Tong Qingyuan replied promptly. As a second-grade pill master, he was also usually chased after by everybody. But in front of the godly Dr. Bailey Hongzhuang, he didn't have the slightest bit of arrogance. Many thanks then. Bailey Honghang cupped her hands, smiling. On the other side, ignored by everybody, Wei Meidai was awkwardly standing in her original spot. The set time still didn't arrive yet, but everybody had clearly forgotten about her existence. Should she try to refine the pill again or go home and train? Bailey Honghang glanced at Gu Sangyun, a mocking smile playing on her lips. Needless to say, her meaning was very clear. Gu Sangyun's face flushed before waving his sleeves and leaving, we're going. Wei Meidai wasn't sure what to do and immediately left with Gu Sangyun when she heard his words. If they continued to stay here, they'd probably only suffer more humiliation. Chapter 328 Tong Qingyuan and Huan Chuyu didn't say anything when they saw Gu Sangyun and Wei Meidai leave. Can I continue and take the second-grade pill master examination? Bailey Hongzhuang slowly spoke of her idea. Since she already came, it was better to do it all now to avoid troubles later. Tong Qingyuan's face changed, even more, when he heard Bailey Hongzhuang's request. In his eyes, Bailey Hongzhuang at her age passing the first-grade pill master's exam was already amazing. But he hadn't expected that Bailey Hongzhuang still even wanted to take the second-grade pill master's exam as well. After seeing Gu Sangyun lose all his face, he knew clearly that Bailey Hongzhuang wasn't a person who spoke thoughtlessly. Since she said so, she definitely had the confidence to pass the exam. Until now, he had always thought that Lu Qinyue was their only genius pill master, but now she saw that Bailey Hongzhuang was one too. Plus, Bailey Hongzhuang was still also very proficient in medicine. Comparing the two, Bailey Hongzhuang's talent truly could be described as monstrous. Huan Chuyu actually wasn't as shocked. Bailey Hongzhuang couldn't be compared to others, so whatever miraculous things that came from her was no longer as strange. Miss Bailey, you can't take the second-grade pill master examination now. Tong Qingyuan replied. Hearing that, Bailey Hongzhuang raised her eyebrow, a hint of doubt in her clear eyes. Why? First we need to confer you the rank of a first-grade pill master and inform your status to the Pill Masters Guild. You can take the second-grade pill master's exam after you get your first-grade pill master's robe. Bailey Hongzhuang understood, so it's like that. Tong Qingyuan smiled faintly. The fastest speed would be around a week before you can take the second-grade pill master's exam. After all, not everyone's like Miss Bailey, who can do 2 examinations on the same day. His honest voice had a sigh to it. Tong Qingyuan had stayed in the Pill Masters Guild for a very long time. Directly going to the second-grade Pill Master's exam right after passing the first was something probably only Bailey Hongzhuang could do. Know that after other Pill Masters passed the first-grade exam, the number of years separating them from the second exam was innumerable. Even if it was Lu Qinyue, she also had to train a long time before passing the second-grade examination. I understand. Bailey Hongzhuang nodded gently. Then I'll come back to take the second-grade Pill Master's examination later. Under Tong Qingyuan's lead, Bailey Hongzhuang left her contact information before leaving the Pill Masters Guild. After the Pill Master robes were done, the Pill Masters Guild would deliver them to Bailey Hongzhuang. As for the second-grade Pill Master's exam, she wasn't in a hurry. As long as she verified her identity as a pill master, nobody can doubt the authenticity of the channel opening pills in her hand. The reason why she came to the Pill Masters Guild was so the auction of the 3 channel opening pills could proceed smoothly without troubles. After Bailey Hongzhuang left, Tong Qingyuan turned to look at Huan Chuyu. Old Huan, that Bailey girl really isn't a simple character, ah. Huan Chuyu smiled faintly. Bailey Hongzhuang's movements all have the air of a master's. Her background must be remarkable. Then, should we investigate them? Huan Chuyu raised his right hand, stopping Tong Qingyuan from continuing. Whatever her background is, they aren't in conflict with us, so why do we need to investigate them? If it offends them, I'm afraid the gains do not make up for the losses. Tong Qingyuan nodded. I understand. Chapter 329. The moon was bright, only a few stars in the sky, and the wind was cool like water. Bailey Hongzhuang was cultivating in her room when a sudden burst of footsteps sounded outside. Almost immediately after, somebody knocked on her door. Hearing the familiar knocks, a trace of a smile appeared in Bailey Hongzhuang's eyes. Xia Jiqing knocked a few more times. Just by hearing the flurried footsteps, Bailey Hongzhuang already knew that it was her. Shiman, you came ah. Bailey Hongzhuang opened the door and welcomed Xia Jiqing inside, a clear smile on her beautiful face. How convenient, I was just about to visit you tomorrow. Now that you came, I don't need to look for you anymore. Hearing that, Xia Jiqing was startled. You were looking for me? Bailey Hongzhuang nodded. Her hand reached into her space pouch, a white pill in the porcelain bottle appearing in her hands. This is for you. Xia Jiqing took the white porcelain bottle, looking at the plump, full pill inside. The gears in her brain turned as Xia Jiqing's eyes turned huge. Hongzhuang, you shouldn't give. Seeing Xia Jiqing unable to even form a full coherent sentence, Bailey Hongzhuang laughed. Don't worry, it's for you. Xia Jiqing sucked in a cold breath. When Bailey Hongzhuang had handed her the bottle, her heart already had a faint guess of what it was. But after knowing that it really was the channel opening pill, it was still hard for her to believe. It was such an expensive pill, ah. This is too precious, I can't take it. Xia Jiqing tried to refuse again and again. Although she had long thought of Bailey Hongzhuang as a close friend, the time they knew each other wasn't for very long. She didn't have anything, so how could she accept Bailey Hongzhuang's expensive gift? Know that ever since the auction for the 3-channel opening pills was announced, every student in the school was trying to think of every possible method to prepare for the auction. Just take it, okay? This pill is extremely useful for us right now. Xia Jiqing shook her head. I know that it's very useful, but because it's so useful, I can't take it. She sincerely thought of Hongzhuang as a friend, and so she never sought any of her riches. Bailey Hongzhuang grinned. Shiman, you're thinking too much about me. Since we're friends, you don't need to think so much. She and Xia Jiqing didn't know each other very well but had hit it off very well. Seeing Bali Hongzhuang's earnest words, Xia Jiqing hesitated a little before accepting the channel opening pill. Hongzhuang, in the future, if you ever need anything from me, I definitely won't refuse. She was touched by Bali Hongzhuang's sincerity. Xia Jiqing secretly resolved in her heart if Bali Hongzhuang ever had a time where she needed something, she'd do everything in her power to get it. Oh right, Shimon, why did you come find me? Bali Hongzhuang asked, her ink-black eyes having traces of a smile. Hey, I forgot something. Xia Jiqing suddenly remembered, actually I didn't come for anything really important. I just heard some really interesting news from somebody. What news? Xia Jiqing laughed mysteriously. Today I heard that a new special enrollment student was coming to Azure Water School tomorrow. You also received the notification to go tomorrow, right? Bali Hongzhuang nodded slightly. After she came back from the Pill Masters Guild, she did indeed receive the notification to go, but she didn't know why. A new special enrollment student? Bali Hongzhuang was startled. Weren't me and Bai Junyu the only new special enrollment students this year? Chapter 330, that's right. We haven't heard about the existence of a third special enrollment student before. It's precisely due to this that this special enrollment student looks to be very phenomenal. Xia Jiqing's face was full of excitement. The status of special enrollment students at the Azure Water School were already extraordinary. The identity of this special enrollment student must be even more exceptional. A trace of doubt filled Bali Hongzhuang's beautiful eyes. She had never heard of any news regarding this special enrollment student before. Dongfang Yu and the others had also never mentioned it. She believed that they also didn't know that a third special enrollment student existed. Thus, this third special enrollment student really was a phenomenal existence. This isn't the main point though. The main point is that I heard that this special enrollment student not only possesses excellent strength, but is also extraordinarily handsome. Xia Jiqing arched her eyebrows, eyes full of electrifying excitement. To girls her age, nothing is more appealing to them than handsome men. Seeing Xia Jiqing's excited expression, Bali Hongzhuang had a helpless smile on her face. Sure enough, this was the point Xia Jiqing paid most attention to. This third special enrollment student hasn't arrived yet. How would you know if he's handsome? Bali Hongzhuang teased. Xia Jiqing blinked. Within the school, there is no lack of some well-informed students. There is a slight difference between us ordinary students and you special enrollment students. To be able to become special enrollment students, you guys must have directed all your energy on cultivating. However, we ordinary students are still very concerned with gossip, especially the female students. Since you know that, then why don't you redirect all your energy towards cultivating? Bali Hongzhuang thought it was a bit funny. Didn't you want to get into the Pill Master course quickly? Of course I want to. Xia Jiqing gave a sparkling smile. I was in the midst of cultivating when I heard my roommate talk about it. This news was so shocking, I naturally couldn't help but listen a bit longer. Right now, everyone was very curious about the identity of this special enrollment student. You already know this. Amongst the special enrollment students, female students are most concerned that Gong Shaoqing is very close with Lu Qinyue as well as you and Dongfang Yu also having an excellent relationship. Who knows how many girls' hearts were broken? Only Bai Junyu is left. Now hearing that there is another outstanding and handsome man is coming, why wouldn't everyone get excited? Bali Hongzhuang twitched, Dongfang Yu and I are just classmates and nothing else. It was a fact that Gong Shaoqing and Lu Qinyue had an intimate relationship. However, there was nothing between her and Dongfang Yu. Of course I know that. Xia Jiqing nodded and then shrugged, but, the other students don't know. Senior Dongfang has always treated others gently, is affable and easygoing, and is loved by most of the female students. Ever since you became acquainted with Senior Dongfang, everyone presumed that the two of you didn't have a shallow relationship. I've heard that many senior sisters silently shed tears in the middle of the night. Master, your sin is really too grave. Little Black said emotionally. Little White nodded, feeling the same way. If Bewitching knew, he'd definitely be jealous. Bailey Hongshuang's lips twitched. If Xia Jiqing wasn't here, she would have definitely sent those ditch-digging fur balls flying with a slap. Tian, I'm assuming she means that they are digging a hole for themselves. It can't be that exaggerated. Bailey Hongzhuang felt frustrated. It looks like I'll have to pay more attention in the future. Xia Jiqing shook her head and grabbed Bailey Hongzhuang's hand, looking unusually serious. Why should that matter? Senior Dongfang is a very good person after all. If you can get together with Senior Dongfang, I would be very happy for you. It's because he's a good man that you should grasp and hold on to him tightly with your own hands. Chapter 331. Watching Xia Zhiman play matchmaker, Bailey Hongzhuang immediately dashed cold water on her thoughts. Stop thinking so much, I don't like Dongfang Yu how a woman likes a man. Bailey Hongzhuang explained, a clear smile on her beautiful face. Seeing Bailey Honghang's serious words, not hiding anything at all, Xia Zhiman couldn't help but stare at Bailey Hongzhuang. Are you really saying the truth? You really don't think about Dongfang Senior like a woman about a man? I really don't. Bailey Hongzhuang said helplessly. Xia Zhiman sighed, her eyes filled with hopelessness. Seriously, what a pity. Dongfang Senior would be such a good partner, but you actually don't have the slightest bit of interest. A pity, never have I met such a picky woman. Bailey Hongzhuang rolled her eyes when she heard Xia Zhiman's sigh of pity. What was Xia Zhiman always thinking in that brain of hers? If you're ever interested in Senior Dongfang, then you must hold on tightly. Bailey Hongzhuang grinned. Senior Dongfang is yours, I never thought like that. Xia Zhiman immediately waved her hands. Her friend's man, she would never do that. Ha! Bailey Hongzhuang smiled, her eyes shining brightly. I think you and Bai Junyu would be a pretty good match. Ah. Xia Zhiman's eyes widened, that noisy guy. I'm not interested in him at all. Bailey Hongzhuang smiled slightly. Xia Zhiman might not be interested in him, but Bai Junyu was definitely interested in her. Snier Dongfang's so outstanding, why don't you like him? Xia Zhiman's eyes narrowed, filled with doubt. Don't tell me that there's already somebody in your heart. Somebody in my heart. A golden figure couldn't help but appear in Bailey Hongzhuang's mind. A tall and straight back, peerless talent. From the day they met, he had always been standing by her side, casting away everything just for a glance to make sure she was okay when he heard she was in trouble. Xia Zhiman was originally just joking when she asked, but seeing Bailey Hongzhuang baffled, her eyes suddenly lit up. Could it be that there really was somebody already in Hongzhuang's heart? Hongzhuang, tell me the truth. Ah. Xia Zhiman said proudly. Bailey Hongzhuang smiled slightly, it'll be clear in the future. Seeing Honghang speak so deeply, Xia Zhiman also no longer asked. After all, some secrets you simply weren't supposed to peer into. The next day, the sun was bright and golden, no clouds in the sky. Bailey Hongzhuang got up early. The message she had received yesterday said for her to get up early today to get introduced to the third special enrollment student. I wonder who the third special enrollment student is, and if they're really good enough. Ah. If they could let Azure Water School make an exception and accept another applicant, this third special enrollment student naturally can't be simple. But the demonic beast tide killed a lot of Azure Water School's talents, so it'd make sense to loosen the standards a little. Bailey Hongzhuang slowly walked holding Baisher, hearing everyone talk about the third special enrollment student on the way. When Bailey Honghang arrived, Dongfang Yu and the others were already there waiting. They as Azure Water School's backbone had already long gotten up early to help prepare. Only Bai Junyu and Cui Haoyan didn't come due to their wounds. Bailey Honghang, you came. Dongfang Yu smiled brightly, calling out when he saw Bailey Honghang arrive. Bailey Hongzhuang nodded slightly. You guys all came really early. Chapter 332. Usually when the school has morning assembly, us special enrollment students all come a bit early. You and Bai Junyu are new and do not have to do so. Lu Qingyue walked up to Bailey Hongzhuang's side, eyes slightly gleaming. Hongzhuang, I heard that you passed the rank 1 pill master exam yesterday. Lu Qingyue was Huan Chuyo's disciple. To know of this so soon, Bailey Hongzhuang didn't feel surprised and immediately nodded in admission. Your speed is really quick. Lu Qingyue chuckled. Bailey Hongzhuang's lips parted in a smile. 5 days later, I have to auction off the channel opening pill. Taking the exam earlier was to not give people any basis for attack. Have you heard? There's supposed to be a 3rd special enrollment student coming to the school today. An expression of curiosity appeared on Lu Qinyue's delicate and daintily beautiful face. This is the first in the history of the Azure Water School. Presumably, this new student shouldn't have a simple background. Dongfang Yu arched his eyebrows. Elegantly charming seductive eyes were suffused with enchanting smile. Bailey Hongzhuang gave a shallow smile. Her face was noncommittal. No matter how special of a background the other has, it was of no relation to her. Just when everyone was conversing with one another, the principal and vice principal slowly walked over. Good morning, principal, vice principal. Seeing the principal and vice principal, all the students greeted them one after the other. The two walked up the high platform together and looked down at the many students gathered below. Both of them showed a kind and satisfying smile on their faces. The reason we've gathered all of you here today is to introduce a special enrollment student to everyone. Principal Ren Tianxiong said, getting straight to the point. As a cultivator, he had never liked formalities and instead held to being straightforward as cultivators are. Once these words were said, a curious gaze shone in the eyes of all the students present. It looks like the rumors they heard were indeed not false. They only did not know who this 3rd special enrollment student is. To not only be able to get the Azure Water School to make an exception, but also evoke a ceremonious introduction from the principal and vice principal was definitely not the kind of treatment an ordinary person would get. Following the end of Ren Tianxiong's words, a man slowly walked up the platform. The man was dressed in pale golden robes, statue tall and straight, numerous inky black strands held up by a white suet jade hairpiece. His peerlessly handsome face looked as if it were carved, long eyebrows extending into his hair, narrow eyes deep and profound. He stood with a graceful and elegantly wind-like demeanor. Shining gold rays of sunshine splashed on his tall and straight figure, as if he was like a god, boundlessly elegant. The audience below stared at the special enrollment student on the platform, inadvertently exclaiming at the same time. Heavens! The rumors were really true. This new special enrollment student is really a rarely seen beauty. It's the first time I've ever seen someone born with such good looks. I'm drunk. He is nothing short of my dream lover. The females in the crowd all went crazy. In their minds, Gong Shaoqing and Dongfang Yu have always been their ideal lovers. However, Gong Shaoqing was very close with Lu Qinyue. Also, Dongfang Yu and Bailey Hongzhuang's relationship wasn't shallow. It didn't seem like there was any hope for them. Then the 3rd special enrollment appeared now and he was above Gong Shaoqing and Dongfang Yu. Different from Gong Shaoqing's cold demeanor and Dongfang Yu's gentleness, this 3rd special enrollment student was above due to his dignified and noble manner. It was as if he was a born aristocrat. Every gesture was enough to exude an inherent nobility, intoxicating everyone around him. Surprise emerged in the eyes of Dongfang Yu, Gong Shaoqing, and Lu Qinyue. This special enrollment student's degree of excellence was beyond their expectations. Chapter 333. Some people, even when they say nothing, do nothing, and just sit there quietly, you'd still be able to feel their remarkable presence. This special enrollment student just stood on the high platform and a naturally grand and imposing manner had slowly started to flow out, causing the audience to not dare underestimate him. Even the knowledgeable and experienced Gong Shaoqing and Dongfang Yu felt a bit of shock in their hearts. As they are similarly talented people, this feeling was even more obvious. This special enrollment student was definitely not simple. Below, Xianyuan Huan stared hard at the figure standing on top of the platform, eyes full of disbelief. Impossible, this was impossible. Xianyuan Huan endlessly shouted in his heart. This was definitely not real. Wasn't he cripped? Sitting in a wheelchair for so many years, how is he able to stand up now? All these years, Bewitching had been the object of his oppression and scathing remarks, mud that he ferociously trampled upon. Now, that mud actually had such a peerlessly elegant appearance. This was akin to a victory over him. How could there be a day he'd be able to stand up? Xiao Zifan stared blankly up at Bewitching. Bewitching was always been very famous within the imperial city. Possessing a perfect and handsome face, it was a pity that Chen Wangye was a cripple. He had seen him before. However, before his eyes was an elegant sun radiating the air of noble around him, not a bit of the dejected attitude of a cripple could be found. Xiao Zifan couldn't help but turn his thoughts to Beili Hongzhuang, who was ridiculed by everyone all these years. Didn't she also wash away all the shame under everyone's astonished gazes, becoming a first-rate genius? His mind slowly filled with the past rumors in the imperial city, a blind with a cripple, a match made in heaven. Looking back at it now, Chen Wangye and Beili Hongzhuang really were a match made in heaven. However, it can be said now that they are a perfect match made in heaven. Gazing at that figure in pale gold, Beili Hongzhuang's beautiful eyes were as quiet as a deep well and held a bit of turmoil, showing shock and surprise, and even a bit of pleasant surprise. Bewitching had always told her that after he finishes dealing with his business, he'd come to look for her. Only, she didn't think that Bewitching would unexpectedly use this kind of method to appear before her. Azure Water School special enrollment student? It couldn't be that. He wants to stay at the Azure Water School and cultivate, right? Bewitching came. Yeah, he really gets people excited. He definitely wasn't assured about letting Master stay here by herself. Little Black and Little White excitedly bounced around. Beili Hongzhuang only felt that two round balls were rolling around on the top of her head. Her lips involuntarily twitched a bit. Did these two still have the sense that they were supposed to be pearl ornaments? If the people next to her saw the pearls on her head rolling around, wouldn't that give them a shock? Fortunately, everyone's attention was still focused on Bewitching and no one noticed this point. I am Bewitching and I am much honored to be a part of the Azure Water School. With a magnetic voice that was deep and mellow, handsome eyebrows that held a clear smile, Bewitching did not conceal the gaze that was staring directly into the crowd at Beili Hongzhuang. The white dress upon her body was tranquil and beautiful. Standing amongst the crowd, she still shone like a star. It was as if she was a luminous night pearl, dazzling and captivating. Noticing Bewitching's gaze, Beili Hongzhuang's lips slightly curved, eyes glowing with a dazzling smile. Bewitching similarly curved his lips into a smile, handsome and extraordinary. Both staring at each other with a smile, no words were necessary for them to understand each other. Chapter 334, I'm sure everyone already knows about the demonic beast tide that happened on Luoyun Mountain. Many of Azure Water School's students have died due to that. Ren Tianxiong's face was heavy. Usually when students left for practical training, they would go to Luoyun Mountain. Nobody expected this rare, once-in-a-100-year demonic beast tide to happen. This was the first time in history Azure Water School had so many student casualties. His mood was very dark. In the audience, the students all nodded. They knew clearly that the situation was very serious. The students they've studied and cultivated alongside died just like that, no longer able to return. All of the students were emotional. After I and the vice principal talked it over, we've decided to make an exception and accept one more special enrollment student, and now we're telling this to everyone. Ren Tianxiong spoke slowly. This was the only solution to Azure Water School's current situation. All of the students revealed expressions of understanding. Azure Water School had always upheld incredibly strict standards, so there was never a lot of students. After the demonic beast tied, there were even less students. Under such a situation, it was already good being able to get one more student. Ren Tianxiong and Huan Chuyu only made the decision after several days of consultation. Although taking in another student now was a bit different from normal, it still adhered to their strict standards and filled an important gap. The light in Bailey Hongzhuang's eyes was complicated. The principal and vice principal really had thought a lot about this. Gong Shaoqing, Dibei Chen's room will be given to you to arrange. Huan Chuyu looked at Gong Shaoqing. Gong Shaoqing nodded his head, I understand. Huan Chuyu nodded slightly before turning to Dongfang Yu, you should bring Dibei Chen around to let him familiarize himself here. Don't worry, Vice Principal. Ren Tianxiong talked a little bit more before leaving with Huan Chuyu. When the two left, the originally quiet field suddenly became incredibly lively. The females all stared at Dibei Chen, they were too curious. Gong Shaoqing was already taken and they had no hope to be with Dongfang Yu. They must hold on to the new student, Dibei Chen. There were no lack of brave women in the crowd filled with hope towards the tall, handsome Dibei Chen. Dibei Chen, do you have a girlfriend? Crash. Hearing this, everybody fell into an uproar, roars of laughter appearing in the crowd. With so many women in the crowd, there was no way to know who did it. Xia Jiman's face was startled, I never thought our Azure Water School's women were so bold. But this Dibei Chen really is as I heard, his looks don't lose to Dongfang Yu or Gong Shaoqing at all. Xia Jiman's excited face rested on Bailey Honghang's shoulder, don't you think so? Bailey Honghang smiled lightly and didn't deny it. Dibei Chen was always outstanding, even more outstanding than outstanding in a normal person's eyes. Dongfang Yu and Gong Shaoqing also stared at Dibei Chen interestedly. As fellow men, it was especially obvious to them that Dibei Chen was truly an outstanding male. So, they were very curious about Dibei Chen's reply. Chapter 335 A bit of curiosity was also seen in Lu Qinyue's beautiful eyes. She had always thought that Brother Gong had been outstanding enough. However, with one glance at Dibei Chen, she felt that he was uniquely different. It was as if he was beyond the bounds of the earthly world. To sum it up, perfect. This was the result of the combination of nobility and godliness. Lu Qinyue didn't know his true strength, but from the confident smile on Dibei Chen's face, it was not difficult to guess. He was definitely not weak. Hongzhuang, do you think that Dibei Chen has a sweetheart? Xia Jiqing didn't even attempt to hide the curiosity in her heart, turned her head towards Bailey Hongzhuang and asked. Just as everyone looked at Dibei Chen with curiosity, interested in how he would answer, Dibei Chen's gaze fell on Bailey Hongzhuang. His elegantly thin pink lips curved into an evil smile, Dibei Chen's gaze held a bit of craftiness. Looking at Dibei Chen's smile, Bailey Hongzhuang instinctively felt this turn of events wasn't at all good. Perhaps. Just as Bailey Hongzhuang was preparing to sneak off quietly, Dibei Chen's voice suddenly rang out. My apologies, but I already have a wife. Once these words left his mouth, the place once again rose to a clamor. The words boggling everyone's minds. Although there was no lack of cultivators who already had a wife here, outstanding men like Dibei Chen usually married a bit later. Moreover, to be able to get Dibei Chen to admit it so readily, it's probable that Dibei Chen is completely satisfied with this wife. Dongfang Yu's expressively seductive eyes had a hint of a smile, this new special enrollment student is really frank, ha. Saying this, Dongfang Yu's eyes involuntarily looked towards Gong Shaoqing and the others. When he caught sight of the slightly strange expression on Bailey Hongzhuang's face, a frown creased his forehead. Bailey Hongzhuang, what's the matter? Lu Qinyue and Xia Jiqing heard the question and also looked at Bailey Hongzhuang, hesitantly asking, Hongzhuang, this is? It was when Gong Shaoqing noticed the way Bei Chen looked at Bei Hongzhuang that he had a faint premonition. Apparently, Bei Chen and Bei Hongzhuang knew each other. Bei Chen's answer undoubtedly hurt many girls who were full of anticipation. Such a handsome and extraordinary man was hard to come by at the Azure Water School. Unexpectedly, he was already married. Isn't this cutting off all their desires? It was unsure if it was because Bei Chen was too outstanding or if this female student was deliberately joking. A voice once again rang out. Then, do you have any intention of taking another wife? As these words faded, the loud noise rose from the audience. Even the male students held the attitude of waiting for a good show to unfold. In the Xinjiang continent, polygamy was a normal thing, even more so with outstanding men. Having a few pretty wives following by his side was a very normal thing. However, Bei Chen had only just arrived at the Azure Water School. No one had the slightest understanding of Bei Chen, and yet there were already women who want to be intimate with him. It really made people endlessly sigh. Bei Chen's lips curved into an unrestrained evil but elegant smile. Without saying a word, he walked off the platform and slowly walked towards Bei Hongzhuang. As for that, it would depend on if wifey allows it or not. Immediately after and in front of everyone's shocked gazes, Bei Chen came up to Bei Hongzhuang's side and embraced her shoulders with one hand. Bei Chen's smile was warm, pure and elegant. It was like cherry blossoms in spring, soft and intoxicating. Wifey, is what I said correct? Bei Chen's words were like a bomb exploding in the blink of an eye. All the students present stood still, mouths open in shock, staring at Bei Chen and Bei Hongzhuang uncomprehendingly, wondering if they had just heard wrongly. Chapter 336. Ya Jiqing stared blankly at Bei Chen, who stood beside Bei Hongzhuang. Just a while ago she had even humorously made a bet with Bei Hongzhuang, saying that Bei Chen didn't have a wife. Never would she have thought that the wife Bei Chen just mentioned was Bei Hongzhuang. The situation changed so quickly that she couldn't follow it. Lu Qingyue was stunned and stared at them in astonishment. This was truly unexpected. Neither Dongfang Yu or Gong Shaoqing's expressions were any better. Before Bei Chen had said anything about it, they would have never associated Bei Hongzhuang with Bei Chen. Dongfang Yu was dumbfounded. He had previously inquired a lot of information about Bei Hongzhuang, but hadn't heard anything about her being married. Everyone's attention was all on Bei Hongzhuang. To find out whether or not this was true, they would have to hear Bei Hongzhuang's answer. Bei Hongzhuang helplessly gazed at the bright attractive face in front of her. From the moment this guy appeared, she knew something like this would happen. Explain. There wasn't an explanation in the first place. Deny it? This was the truth, so how could she deny it? Since there was no other way, she could only acknowledge it. What do you think? A flicker of slyness flashed by Bei Hongzhuang's beautiful eyes. If you are willing, then I don't have a problem with it. Although Bei Chen threw the question to her, she wasn't willing to become the fiend who broke the hearts of many young women, therefore why not just throw the question back at him? When they heard Bei Hongzhuang neither disagree or agree, the onlookers couldn't ignore the fact that Bei Hongzhuang was Bei Chen's wife. The discovery crushed all of the ladies in the academy. Before, Dongfang Yu had been everyone's male idol, but who would have known that when Bei Hongzhuang joined the academy, she would be so close with Dongfang Yu, breaking the hearts of everyone. Finally a new male idol appeared, moreover this was only his first day, yet he was already Bei Hongzhuang's husband. Those who struck first prevailed, while those who struck late suffered. But wasn't Bei Hongzhuang's striking speed a bit too fast? Couldn't she let us live? Couldn't she let us reminiscence our male idol? At this moment, not only were all the female students heartbroken, the male students who admired Bei Hongzhuang were also distressed. Bei Hongzhuang was their new female idol. Who would have known that Bei Hongzhuang had already been caught by Bei Chen's evil claws? Now they didn't have any chance left. How is he the academy's special enrollment student? He clearly came to the academy to look for his wife. Noticing the twinkle of cunningness that lashed by Bailey Hongzhuang's eyes, Dibei Chen's eyes, dark as black jade, filled with indulgence and yearning. When he first saw Bailey Hongzhuang, she had the same slyness as she reached out her hand, asking for 100 gold coins as reward. And now looking at her, still as cunning and adorable as before, standing in front of him, there was an unexplainable feeling in his heart. Fortunately, she was safe and sound. If wifey says it like that, this husband will be sad, smiled Dibei Chen devilishly. You are the only one in my heart, no one else can replace you, nor enter my heart. The onlookers watched as Bailey Hongzhuang and Dibei Chen extravagantly showed their affection. The whole square was filled with the sound of shattering hearts. Must they go so far as to publicly flirt with each other? This proclamation of love was basically cutting of any hope they had, completely exterminating the fantasy in their hearts. Chapter 337, Sad Dongfang Yu. LOL. I had to translate the title, tongue sticking out. Xia Jiqing looked at Dibei Chen's face filled with deep, doting love and finally understood why Bailey Honghang never liked Dongfang Yu romantically. Because, there was already an even better man in her life. Although she didn't know anything about Dibei Chen or his circumstances, right now she truly felt as if Dibei Chen and Bailey Hongzhuang was a match made in heaven. Dibei Chen's appearance was bright and handsome, filled with confidence, while Bailey Honghang was stunningly gorgeous, her beauty almost unreal. The golden and the white figure interweaved together brought forth an unspeakable sense of harmony. She believed that with how amazing Honghang was, her husband absolutely couldn't be a nobody. This new special enrollment student definitely must be extraordinary. Bailey Hongzhuang felt uncomfortable as she listened to Dibei Chen's corny words. This guy really paid no attention to their location before he spoke. Dongfang Yu stared at the perfectly matched couple, Dibei Chen and Bailey Hongzhuang beside him. Nobody knew when the smile in his seductive eyes sorrowfully faded away. The gentle smile in his face had disappeared, replaced by a deep sadness. It was as if the warm and sunny day suddenly turned rainy. There wasn't the slightest bit of sun left, only gloom and sadness left behind. Dongfang Yu didn't know why, but the two seemed to be a bit unpleasant to the eyes, making his heart feel a bit stifled. Gong Shaoqing's iceberg face was impassive as always, but a subtle wave appeared in his calm eyes when he heard Bailey Hongzhuang confirm their relationship. The sudden series of events had far exceeded his expectations. It was a development that nobody expected. Lu Qinyue's lips stretched into a big grin, but before anyone noticed, her face had already relaxed into a slight, joyful smile. Dibei Chen, since you're a new special enrollment student, how about I arrange your room next to Bailey Hongzhuang's? Dongfang Yu quickly concealed his sadness, a gentle smile appearing on his face like nothing happened. As special enrollment students in the same year, Dibei Chen was supposed to live together on the same floor as Bailey Hongzhuang and Bai Junyu. Although Dongfang Yu hid his emotions very quickly, Dibei Chen still managed to catch it. He nodded his head slightly, then thank you very much. It seemed like his Wang Fei's charm really wasn't small, even attracting Dongfang Yu, who never loved anyone. As the early meeting finished, the Azure Water School students slowly left. Before they came, their hearts were filled with anticipation. After they left, they were completely heartbroken. Now that they no longer had any hope, continuing to stay was meaningless. Xiao Zifen slowly walked towards Bailey Hongzhuang. After all, since he knew them and Dibei Chen was here, he should greet them. Chen Wangye. Xiao Zifen cupped his hands in greeting. I didn't expect that you'd also come to Azure Water School. Before, although he heard about Dibei Chen, they've never actually met. He knew that the Chen Wangye now was very different from the previous Chen Wangye. Now he could stand up, and was no longer the Chen Wangye that everyone could bully. Besides, Azure Water School wouldn't choose incompetent people. Dibei Chen had managed to become a special enrollment student of Azure Water School. That in itself was enough to prove his strength was outstanding. Thinking up to there, Xiao Zifen's heart was filled with a myriad of emotions. He wondered, what faces would the people in the imperial city make when they saw what statuses Bailey Honghang and Bewitching had now. Chapter 338. Bewitching's gaze fell on Xiao Zifen's body. From He Mu's mouth, he had already understood how Xiao Zifen and Hongzhuang became acquainted. Towards the matter of Zifen standing with Bailey Hongzhuang against the pack of hell wolves, Bewitching was very appreciative and satisfied. Bewitching's thin lips raised slightly. Hongzhuang is here. Naturally, I have to come here as well. Xiao Zifen gave a slight smile. He had heard early on that Chen Wangye and Chen Wangfei's relationship was good. Seeing it today, it truly lived up to the rumors. Standing not far from Xiao Zifen and Bewitching, Xianyuan Huan looked at them as they conversed. His heart still had not calmed down from the shock he felt before. How did this Bewitching resemble the one cripple that he had originally bullied? In those 3 years, Bewitching had never stood up before. How could he suddenly stand up now? Could it be that when Bewitching suddenly left, it was to heal his leg injury? Xianyuan Huan's mind flashed through a myriad of possibilities, feeling that it was harder and harder to believe. It seems that he had to quickly pass this news back home. He may as well confirm it. Dongfang Yu and the others heard Xiao Zifen's address towards Bewitching, surprise slowly entering their eyes once again. Chen Wangye. Xia Jiqing's eyes were opened wide in shock. Bewitching is a Wangye? Xiao Zifen nodded, that's right. He is Chen Wangye. Even though you would consider yourself to be a student after arriving at the Azure Water School, Wang Ye and Wang Fei were still very distinguished identities. The corner of Bailey Hongzhuang's lips curved. Towards this identity, she did not care about it too much. She was a lady of the general's household for 15 years, was that identity not distinguished enough? In fact, she had survived under the spite and trampling of others for 15 years. It is precisely for this reason that towards this identity, she had never cared at all. Bewitching similarly didn't know how to deny it. Towards this identity of Wang Ye, he had never thought of it as glorious. Rather, it was humiliating. However, with Bailey Hongzhuang and Bewitching having an indifferent, even disdainful, attitude towards this, it made them appear even higher in everyone's eyes. To hide such an obviously distinguishing identity for so long, it could be seen that their dispositions were extraordinary. Dongfang Yu felt tumultuous emotions rolling around like a stormy sea in his heart. Before, when he had looked into Bailey Hongzhuang's situation in the general's household, he had not inquired about what happened after she left. It turns out that the Bailey Hongzhuang of today was not the young lady of the general's household anymore, but was Feng Bo country's Chen Wangfei. Bailey Hongzhuang, Bewitching had just arrived at the Azure Water School. I'll leave it to you to show him around. We'll return first. Dongfang Yu had a gentle gaze, lips holding an intoxicatingly seductive smile, not letting others see any trace of his inner thoughts. Listening to this, Bailey Hongzhuang stopped for a moment to consider Dongfang Yu's words and then nodded, very well. Even if she went back now, Bewitching would still come looking for her. Just as well, she also had a few matters to talk about with Bewitching. Hearing Bailey Hongzhuang's candid reply, Dongfang Yu felt a block form in his heart. It caused him to immediately find an excuse to leave. Gong Shaoqing watched Dongfang Yu's retreating figure and also turned to look at the completely unaware Bailey Hongzhuang, showing a complicated expression on his face. He had been Dongfang Yu's friend for many years, how could he not know what the latter was thinking in his heart? Brother Gong, thinking of it, Hongzhuang and Bewitching haven't seen each other for a long time. They must have a lot they want to talk to each other about. Shouldn't we leave first? Lu Qinyue's charming and delicate face held a light warm gentle smile, her voice containing an even more light-hearted smile. Gong Shaoqing nodded silently, then we shall leave first. Chapter 339, Hongzhuang, Xiao Zifen and I are going now, hee hee. Xia Jiqing winked excitedly at Bailey Hongzhuang. A short separation breeds new love, them staying here would only be a hindrance. Bailey Hongzhuang noticed everyone's ambiguous eyes but didn't say anything. She knew that right now, even if she tried to explain, nobody would believe it. So, it was better not to explain at all, or else everybody might misunderstand. Seeing everyone wink as they left cleanly, Bailey Honghang was helpless as she turned to face Bewitching. Is your business finished? Bailey Hongzhuang asked. From what she understood, since Bewitching wasted 3 years in Fengbo country, there should have definitely been a terribly difficult, big mess for him to deal with. But Bewitching didn't take long at all. Was all his business really completed? If it really was, his efficiency was truly something awe. If I didn't come back, I'm afraid wifey would have ran away with somebody else. Bewitching grinned, his low and magnetic voice filled with charm as he said teasingly. But, his dark and beautiful eyes had a trace of hard-to-describe seriousness. Bailey Honghang was struck dumb. This guy was truly shameless enough to say everything. Such a normal sentence, but why does it sound like the red apricot tree leaning over the garden wall? Idiom, a cheating wife xd little black and little white glanced at each other. As expected of Bewitching, hee. Baisher in Bailey Hongzhuang's arms also popped his head out to glance at Bewitching. This was only the second time he had seen Bewitching, the first was when he was just born. But thinking of that now. It was too embarrassing. Baisher lowered his head, snuggling back into Bailey Hongzhuang's arms. It was a very shy animal. Nonsense. Bailey Hongzhuang immediately refuted. She knew that the 2 fluff balls on top of her head were definitely laughing at her. Bewitching's eyes brightened as he listened to Bailey Honghang, his grin growing wider and wider. So you mean that even if I'm not by wifey's side, wifey will still care about me? Bailey Hongzhuang was once again stumped for words, glaring at that evildoer's face furiously. It was a pit. It was a huge pit. Bewitching had really calculated it well. No matter how she answered, she'd still fall for his trick. You think too much. Bailey Hongzhuang's eyes narrowed, a cold light beginning to appear in her eyes. Bewitching was completely unaware, the smile on his face only growing even more brilliant as he stared at Bailey Hongzhuang tenderly. He tightened embraced her with his hand. Today is truly a good day. Your husband feels very happy to see wifey again. Bailey Hongzhuang noticed Bewitching's hand on her shoulder and couldn't help but ask, your hand, can you let go? Bewitching raised an eyebrow. At first he didn't want to release her, but then seeing Bailey Hongzhuang's cold face, he quietly let go. Whatever wifey says, your husband will naturally obey. Bailey Honghang frowned lightly, aren't you getting a bit too into the play? I'm not actually your wife. Hearing Bailey Honghang words, the smile on Bewitching's face faded somewhat, a trace of seriousness appearing in his eyes. You don't want to be my wife? Bewitching's beautiful eyes were filled with remorse as if he was thinking about how Bailey Hongzhuang was unhappy when he called her his wife. Chapter 340. But, just as Bailey Hongzhuang thought that Bewitching finally understood, his voice suddenly rang out again. Then, Ben Wang will call you Wang Fei. I'm not your wife, and I'm definitely not your Wang Fei. Bailey Hongzhuang emphasized. In the end, did this guy clearly understand their relationship or not? Or was he deliberately confusing it? Okay, whatever you say is right. Bewitching immediately replied, then I'll call you Zhuanger, or Little Darling. Which name do you want me to call you by? Bewitching smiled widely, a splendid, bright smile on his evilly bewitching face. He looked like a star, blinding the eyes of others. But in Bailey Hongzhuang's eyes, it amounted to nothing. Really? Bailey Hongzhuang's lips curved into a charming smile, you'll call me by whatever name I like. Of course. Bewitching winked, his eyes shining with sincerity, but if I just call you Bailey Hongzhuang or the like, then we wouldn't be able to prove our intimate relationship. Bailey Hongzhuang was defeated. She simply had no way to talk it over with this guy. After all, in terms of shamelessness, she wasn't a match for him at all. After Dongfang Yu returned to his room, Gong Xiaoqing and Lu Qinyue went to find him. Dongfang, when you investigated Bailey Hongzhuang, how did you never find out that she was the Qin Wangfei? Gong Xiaoqing asked. What had happened today had truly been unexpected. Dongfang Yu sighed slightly. Before I had only asked around for information while she was still in the general's household, not after she left. He remembered that the person before seemed to still have something to say to him, but somebody to come find him before he could speak and left. So it's like that. Gong Xiaoqing's emotions were complicated. I've always heard that Feng Bo country's Chen Wangye was only a cripple with peerless looks, but now I see that he was actually a hidden dragon. Lu Qinyue was startled. Dibei Chen was actually Feng Bo country's crippled Wangye? Feng Bo country's crippled Wangye was very well known, but she had only known about the crippled Wangye, and not that Chen Wangye was actually Dibei Chen. Saying it that way, Hongzhuang and Dibei Chen really are a mystical couple. Lu Qinyue's eyes were filled with admiration. Before marriage, their cetaceans were very much alike, and after marriage, they seemed like completely different people. Looking at the current Honghang and Dibei Chen, whoever saw them would have no way of connecting them to the previous general household's young miss and the crippled Wangye. Dongfang Yu and Gong Xiaoqing's faces were also a bit odd. The sudden reversal was really a tad strange. Bailey Honghang's transformation was already incredible, but with Dibei Chen's change as well, it was truly shocking. Suddenly, Gong Xiaoqing's eyes lit up. Bailey Hongzhuang is also a doctor, so couldn't she have cured Dibei Chen's legs? Hearing this, Dongfang Yu and Lu Qinyue's eyes also brightened. From Bailey Honghang's treatment of Cui Haoyan, it was obvious that her techniques were truly amazing. She was able to cure the toxin that even the vice principal was helpless against. So if Bailey Hongzhuang cured Dibei Chen's legs, then it really wasn't too shocking. Chapter 341, Perhaps. It really is like that. Dongfang Yu's eyes twinkled thoughtfully as he lowered his head. Bailey Hongzhuang was truly an unusual woman. Not only did she change, but so did the man around her. That Dibei Chen isn't a simple character either. Gong Xiaoqing's eyes were deep and distant. Before I heard that not only was Feng Bo country's Wangye a cripple, he was even bullied by everyone. But after his leg injury was healed, he also became very strongly. Clearly, he had been cultivating for a long time. It definitely wasn't an overnight thing. At the very least, his cultivation level is something that even I cannot read. His deep, magnetic voice was filled with complex emotions. Gong Xiaoqing's face was grave, not a single emotion visible on his face. Dongfang Yu nodded, feeling the same, right, his strength is truly profound. Hearing Gong Xiaoqing and Dongfang Yu's words, Lu Qinyue's eyes widened with shock. Not even you two could measure his cultivation. As everybody knew, if the difference in strength was too big, weaker cultivators wouldn't be able to know a stronger cultivator's strength. If even Gong Xiaoqing and Dongfang Yu couldn't see his strength, it was obvious that Dibei Chen's power was beyond ordinary. Even if Dibei Chen was a year older than them, such a huge gap in strength was still astonishing. It seems like that Dibei Chen didn't come to Azure Water School to train, but to stay with Bailey Hongzhuang. Gong Xiaoqing's cold voice was certain. Only a little bit of thinking was needed to understand everything. This Chen Wangye cannot be a simple person, but for him, Bailey Hongzhuang is very important. Dongfang Yu's seductive eyes blushed faintly as they shone with intelligence, but his heart quietly burned with pain. For a person as strong as Dibei Chen, staying at Azure Water School would only be a waste of time. Yet, he had rushed over specially for Bailey Hongzhuang. From this, it was obvious how important she was in Dibei Chen's heart. Whether it was appearance or strength, Dibei Chen was unbeatable. Together with his sincerity towards Bailey Honghang, they truly were a couple worthy of envy. Billows appeared in Lu Qinyue's eyes. The shock was too great. Bailey Hongzhuang was once called trash by everybody, but in her eyes, Bailey Honghang was not only strong, a medicinal expert, she was even a rarely seen pill-refining genius. Such a perfect woman with so many talents, yet she had to live under humiliation for 15 years. It was truly hard to believe. Could it be that all the people in Fengbo country's imperial city were all idiots? Otherwise, how could they trample on a treasured, heaven-sent genius like trash? Watching Lu Qinyue's face continuously changing, Gong Shaoqing spoke, "No matter who Bailey Hongzhuang is, she's still our friend." Hearing that, Lu Qinyue's thoughts changed. Big Brother Gong. He was protecting Hongzhuang. Big Brother Gong, who had normally never concerned himself with worldly affairs, was now suddenly speaking so much, trying to prevent rumors so Bailey Honghang won't be affected. Dongfang Yu also nodded, "Right, we only need to know Hongzhuang's our friend, and that's enough." Bailey Hongzhuang led Dibei Chen on a loop around Azure Water School before finally bringing him to the special enrollment students' dormitory. Seeing how the name plate next door was already engraved with Dibei Chen's name, Bailey Honghang couldn't help but sigh. Azure Water School's efficiency was truly something. "This is your room." Bailey Hongzhuang pointed at the door, "You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure."